my in-game name on League.
Let's go. What is up, guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today. This is Rift Insight Season 1, Episode 22. So there's going to be some pretty spicy topics tonight because this is something I want to talk about in a solo video, but as you guys know, I don't like to make videos based on speculation. Usually rumors are fine because it's just what's kind of circling out there. People put out rumors no matter what the situation is going to be, no matter what. The whole Doublelift and EG situation that went down, and then TSM probably won't be getting Sword Art, but sooning let Sword Art go today, and it's like, you know. So, what are you guys doing? How's you guys, day today?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about you?
My day was alright.
I went to work, got off a little bit more early than I was expecting, but overall was pretty good so far. Oh yeah, Thanksgiving, it's literally tomorrow in America. If you guys are in America, it's Thanksgiving. That's crazy. We've had so many bad things happen to us this year, and it's like, dude, it's Thanksgiving literally tomorrow. I'm like, where did the time go? You know what I mean? Like, where did the time go?
That's funny.
Oh my god.
I had to do it, alright? I'm sorry.
Oh my god. But how have you guys been, what have you guys been thinking about for the 2020 offseason? So Perks leads G2, Reckless leads Fnatic, Bjergsen and Doublelift retire. That's literally 4 of the icons that make up the West in terms of, most of the really, really big figures, Reckless, Perks, Doublelift, Bjergsen. Sneaky's an icon. He hasn't got a team. We'll talk about the old veterans later because even they have like Biofrost, Smithy, Haunter, Cody's son. They don't have teams. It's honestly just been pretty crazy, So, this 2020 offseason, this has been the most amazing offseason ever, dude. Just imagine this. I was thinking about this just yesterday because you're a C9 fan too. I don't think there's a bigger upgrade than Perks. Like, let's say 5 years down the road, Perks retires. There's nothing that'd be a bigger upgrade than this. This is like the max upgrade you can make.
I will personally say there's maybe 2 other players that I could say would be a bigger upgrade than Perks. The problem is they were impossible to happen. So I would say mechanically, Knight might have been more of an upgrade. And if you wanted, like, basically just the max level Niski with the roaming plays and stuff like that, Showmaker. But that's it. We're talking about, like, literally top tier, top 5 mid laners in the entire world at this point, though. So it's like, in terms of players that they could actually get, in terms of, like, mid lane players that they could actually get, Perks is pretty much right at the very top. Which is absolutely insane, and to the tune of, did they actually confirm this? Because I heard from a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend.
My sources.
My associate. My associates are telling me. I heard that they got him to the tune of 5 million, which is absolutely insane.
Well, it'd be 5 million plus plus the salary.
So the 11.75 was like a joke. It's not a legitimate.
Well, thing. The problem is, it's like you're factoring in more money based off Carlos got paid, which all obviously means that's G2.
So a complete.
And then Perks, and then his salary's gonna be you have to count into. So technically, you can probably shave off a little bit of that money in terms of like. God damn, Vin Diesel, holy shit. Sorry about that. So it's basically Perk's salary, the buyout, and then whatever goes into that. That's a lot of money, though. God.
So you
damn.
think the 11.75 could have been a possibility, but it was.
I think it was roughly about. I think it's roughly about 8 million if you're kind of factoring. Because like, guys, taxes in America are insane. Tax America are insane. Literally, and agents, they're trying to negotiate the best deal for their players so they're doing a good job. And that's understandable. You're an agent, you want to try to get your client the best amount of money they can for their job. Because the issue here is, what I was thinking today, when people said that if Cloud9 failed with Perks this year, that's a disappointment. And I mean, they're not wrong. That's crazy how fans can have rational decisions. They're not wrong. You literally bought one of the best Western players of all time. The only question mark I have is Blabber. I personally think Foch will be pretty good, honestly. I personally think he will.
I mean, okay, so even If it was $11 million, that would be absolutely insanity. Like,
I
just
know. That's why when I saw
not
the
only are we
video
talking
and
about
said
the
that,
highest paid mid laner or the highest paid player, period, of all time in North America, with the highest, I believe, the highest buyout contract of all time, plus taxes and everything on top of that, like that is beyond liquid money, which it like I couldn't see it.
A lot of the people were saying that like value and that price that they're pitching at enters like actual like not esports but like legitimate athlete territory, like that those digits of like 11.
Bro, this shit's not
million.
sustainable.
Dude,
There's no way
they're
this is
past
sustainable.
that.
Yeah,
They're past that.
Team Liquid has to be past that. Team Liquid has to be past that because their roster.
Oh no, we're talking about for an
million.
individual player is what I'm talking about.
Individual player, I think Jack.
I'm
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Perks,
No,
like,
yeah, you're right.
the
You're right.
11.75 towards Perks.
You're right.
Yeah.
Of course, like in total, Team Liquid has done like they're in like what 30s now, probably 30 mil.
Let's see, 1, 2, 5, 4,
or actually, never mind. Their players
no
are like 3 mil each or 3 mil each.
Yeah,
yeah.
I would put them more in like the 10 to 15 mil range if my math is correct on that, which it probably isn't.
I think you're right.
But either way, it's like Jesus Christ. By that, 11 million would basically be almost the entire Team Liquid history in one player. Like, that's holy crap. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I love Perks to pieces, and I think he's an amazing player. He is not worth $11 million. It just straight up. 8 million, I can see that. I still think that Nightwing.
I think at 3 million, I think at 3 to 4 million, because we're talking like $8 million to $11 million for a player. Like, I'm being honest here, you got to be getting some of that money back. But there's ways you can make the money up without having to get it in cash. So if I'm a new player coming to the LCS, and C9 has proven they're going to bring up their academy players to the LCS, you could get a cheaper player on a cheaper contract based off having perks, though. So I think there are incentives to make the money back. It's just not going to be the entire thing back. I think they'll get some of the money back, a little bit, but not everything.
I'm just going to put this forward. I am convinced that the only reason this trade actually happened is because they were able to move Fudge onto the main roster and traded Licorice. I do not think that they have or had at the time the capital amounts or the monetary investment to go after Perks this aggressively without that happening. So and the bigger thing for me right now is I'm also starting to look at this and going, when is salary cap going to be instituted for the teams?
Bro, this needs to be like now.
Like now.
This is getting crazy. Because people don't understand this. If people don't pay attention to Cloud9, Cloud9 have this little extremely rich, and rich is an understatement, just monopoly company sponsoring them. They are sponsored by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Microsoft could print $11 million from Bill Gates' asshole. That's how rich they are. Bro, literally, Bill Gates could tip a waitress her rent for her lifetime. You guys think I'm joking? No. Cloud9 are literally sponsored by Microsoft.
Yeah,
they're sponsored by Microsoft. They can get any player they want.
Cloud9 has been like in like the back, like they've been in the back doing a lot of stuff that people weren't aware of until recently. Like, for example, like what was it, like 2 years ago when prior to Beer getting like, ownership of TSM, they were already doing that with their players. And then they ended up getting they weren't getting taken to court, but like they were being investigated by Riot apparently because they were giving all of their players stakes in C9 without actually letting Riot know about it. And then they had to basically go back and say, hey, you guys can do this, I guess, but this is how we want it to be done.
So what he said was that they they did submit the
Yeah.
paperwork. There was a person messed up, and then
Or
yeah, 'cause
apparently it
that-
didn't get to Riot or something like
yeah,
that.
that
right?
was weird. I was like, cause you know, nothing ever came out with them, you know, not paying a player. Obviously, everything relations with the players in C9 always have were really good. So I was just thinking to myself, that's weird that they would even get fined for this, because there are other teams that got fined too. And then I was looking at Cloud9 sponsors, Microsoft, like that's about as good a sponsor as you can get. Like,
Yeah.
like, so it doesn't even matter if they don't make the money back because they have Microsoft.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And not only that, but I feel like with the way the league is kind of moving forward in terms of signing on academy teams, the draft days that are, I'm just going to call them draft days. I know they're trying to build it up as something else, but for all intents and purposes, we have North American League of Legends draft days, which is absolutely crazy to say. Like, we have players in the NHL, substantial players. Like, let's see, maybe like Jake DeBrusque, I believe is his name. He has like a salary cap of like 3.6 million, if my memory serves me correct. So there are legitimate high-level NHL players who are getting paid less than League of Legends North American players. That's insane. That, like, just salary cap needs to be instituted, or at least looked at really quickly, because otherwise, you know, what happens when the next perks comes along? What if caps popped up?
Bro, remember there was the episode of Thorin he put out with Jack, where Jack said, "I opened my checkbook." He was gonna let Caps write as many zeros as he wanted.
Yeah.
What?
Faker was given a blank check by a team.
These people don't care.
It's like,
that's why I said when people said these guys are broke, I'm like, I don't. It's hard to believe that. It's hard to believe that when you have people like Jack that was gonna let a player write as many zeros as he wanted. He could have wrote 4 million in there. Just that's cool. Here.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
I personally think salary cap kind of needs to be a thing, because the LPL has it. If the LPL has it, and they're like one of the best leagues in the world, then the NALCS should have it. Honestly.
No, 100%. I love how we started on Doublelift Is Retired, which is like, you know, front page news, and it's like, but what about the salary cap, guys?
All right, you guys want to talk about Doublelift? That he's gross. I don't know. I love him. I met him. He was juicy. His face touched mine. Yeah. No. Okay. So I'm gonna let you guys in on some inside news. I did have a source. I did have a source that said he was gonna do it, and I said, give me a percent number. He was like 80. I was like, what? He was like 80%. I was like, bro, you serious? Because I'm not gonna. He said, don't make a video, because he knew me. I was like, hey, you sub to the channel? He's like, yeah, I sub to the channel. I like your content. I was like, oh, hey man, what's up? And he's like, yeah, Doublelift could be retiring, and that's what I said, the percent number. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna make a video, because I know a lot of people made videos about that before. I was like, I just can't. For me personally, because that's just kind of like lying. I can't put a title video going, Doublelift might retire. He plays, people just don't think I'm credible anymore. That's putting my thing on the line. I like to be 100% sure. Just like Jacob Wolf tweeted, and he said, I'd rather be 100% sure than first. So unless I get it from Jacob Wolf, Esports Manic House, or like Esports puts it out when other credible people do it, I usually don't put out like news, or make sure if it's a rumor, the video's titled pretty much as a rumor. So yeah, I kind of knew about it, but I was like, he's not retiring. It's Doublelift, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
I mean, we knew that there was the potential for basically the entire offseason, but everyone was saying, like, why isn't Doublelift retiring at the same time Bjergsen is? And to be honest, I was kind of expecting either they were going to get Sword Art and this was going to be the last season that he plays, or he was just going to retire. That was my call. And well, I guess he just decided.
What's up? Oh, what's up, Andra? How you doing? Oh no, I got here in the middle of talks about capitalism. No. Well, Nemesis is coming up in a little bit. Don't worry. How you doing, Andra? How you doing? Ryan, in terms of like LCS players, whew, man, It's yeah, there has to be something for that. So just to kind of wrap up this, I don't think the Perks buyout means much because I know everyone's talking about it, saying, "Oh yeah, C9 is gonna go broke." No, guys, they're Microsoft. They might as well. If they had Apple, it wouldn't literally matter. You know what I mean? It really wouldn't matter, honestly. They have sponsors. They'll cover them. C9 makes the money back. Dude, guess what? C9 merch I literally bought this month. I bought jerseys for my girlfriend. I got this. This is actually really nice. This is really comfortable.
What Nightwing is saying is he basically is funding the team. So if you support Nightwing, you support, he'll indirectly support Cloud9. Yeah, that's how that works.
So Doublelift has retired, guys. Doublelift has retired. So before we go into more detail about that, in the TSM, in the, I forgot what was the Bjergsen retirement video or the TSM Legends episode on their YouTube channel, Doublelift even said, you know, like when Bjergsen retired, I kind of wanted to retire too. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I remember him saying something. I remember saying literally those exact words, and I was like, huh, this is really interesting because that means that when they went 0-6 at the 2020 World Championship, they knew it's like something sparked in their brains where they were like, okay, we cannot compete anymore. It's too much trying to carry a team. You know, what do you think initially, like the straw that broke the camel's back? What do you guys think was that for Doublelift in the nail in the coffin to make him officially, retire? Honestly,
but it's just like if you think about it on the in the grand scheme of things, it was kind of like a domino effect if you think about it, because you know he had the highest highs on Liquid, then players got cycled out, the vision was changed. You know, Liquid had that slump season where they just weren't really where they wanted to be, and you know they had that type of performance where everybody was like, "What the fuck? Like, how can this be that Liquid that we know?" Where they weren't performing, the team seemed like they were, you know, being super nonchalant over like the whole, you know, COVID happening and Broxton not being able to come on time, all that type of stuff. And that just caused, like, I just feel like after that happened, it was just a downward slope for Double. He just was not doing what he needed to do. And it just seemed like that, like, fire, that tenacity that he had to, or, you know, just be, like, at it and just continuing to get better and better and progress, it just wasn't there. So it just seemed like he was descending and descending. And then, you know, once he got on TSM, it was like, okay, you know, they won their split, but, like, you know, we have two players who've never been to Worlds. I don't know. It just felt like things were not really, they were there, but they just weren't. And he just was just fading away mentally, and like his identity as a player was just going away.
Yeah, I think the moment that I would say cemented it was when Tactical performed substantially better than him at Worlds. Like, I can put myself in a similar, so harkening back to like when I was in high school, I was running track and field nationally, and
really
one of the things that broke, like, just completely mentally broke me was when this, I won't use names, but when this new kid shows up and after a year just dominated every single event that I was also training for. And that feeling of, like, you know, running into someone who isn't who, you know, hasn't really been there all that long, and maybe in your eyes hasn't really earned it just yet, to be absolutely just trashed by comparison to the other person, like that was enough to like throw my game off, let alone in a situation like Worlds for League of Legends. Like, I can't even imagine how mentally frustrating and just breaking he must have felt watching Tactical like take these other bot lanes to town in a lot of games, and then showing up and going 0-6. It's like, damn.
Something happened in scrims at Worlds that broke these guys' brains literally in half.
Just because of the play style. Like, I don't think Double, like the whole season with TSM, you saw like Double was playing weak side like the entire time, and like
put your mouth to your mic a little more.
Can you not hear me?
No, you're good. No, we can hear you. It's just a little lower.
Oh, I was
No,
just
yeah,
saying.
that's fine right there.
Yeah, so the entire season for TSM, Double had to adopt that playing weak side like the entire time, and I feel like that, like, I mean, it worked for them like locally because TSM was getting away with like a lot of things, Berg was getting away with like a lot of things, Broken Lane was getting away with a lot of things. A lot of things they were trying to do like internationally were not working for those lanes. So then whenever Doublelift tried to intervene and be like, hey, maybe we should try playing, towards bot. Maybe we should try to do this, that. There were so many clashing ideas as to like what their identity was going to be. Like their identity was one way at NA, and they were trying to rediscover another identity at Worlds, and that wasn't going to work at that time. So it just kind of mental boomed.
Bro, I saw the most bronzest shit I've ever seen in my life. So there's that game they played against Fnatic. It was what was the one where Spica was playing Italy and someone Selfmade was on Grave? Was that week 1 or week 2? Doesn't really matter.
I think it was week 2. It was week 1 was when he was playing Evelyn.
This was the worst shit I've seen in my life, dude. How in the world does Graves get in front of the dragon and steal it with a Galio, a Nidalee, and a Volibear?
Did you watch the TSM Legends episode when that happened? Their comms, dude. Doublelift's just like, oh.
Bro, yeah. Selfmade got in front of it. And there's a Galio with a taunt. Volibear, if you guys remember, Volibear got changed. You guys know that. Obviously, the old Volibear didn't have the new little ECC where he can stun you. Volibear can stun you from like oh god, dude, this shit was almost broke. I was like, all right, go home, unplug your keyboards, go to the plane, and go home, because that is unacceptable.
When watching the comms, it just felt like no one stepped up, no one took accountability, no one like tried to like say, hey, this is the play.
Watching that TSM League of Legends episode, it was like, dude, these guys were broken when they stepped into China.
It was only Spica. Spica was the only one that
he was the one who was trying. Yeah,
dude.
I think Broken Blade actually like was there too. Like he was doing pretty well.
Yeah, he beat Rascal.
He was doing things. That bot lane dive.
From how it was explained to me was that in scrims, they had a way they wanted to play, which was the same way they played in NA, which was freaking playing around top side and shit. And they were getting trashed. They were getting trashed playing like that in scrims. It got to the point where they're getting trashed so much that like Doublelift and the rest of the team were like, well, we got to stop playing like that. So anytime that anyone was trying to be aggressive like they were in NA, they'd be like, nope, stop. We're not
I don't know if you guys agree with this take, but it felt like throughout his entire career, Doublelift stomped domestically because the team would always play around bot, and he really knew how to play around bot. Like he knew how to be aggressive, he knew how to shot call, he knew how to make really amazing decisions when he was ahead through bot lane. But when they went internationally, the bot lanes got better, and he didn't know how to shot call, he didn't know how to lead a team because of that reason. And for the first time in his career, I feel like starting in Team Liquid, actually, that spring split, the teams that he was on were playing away from bot. He was asked to play Senna. He was asked to play all these supportive style bot laners, and I feel like you just got to see the worst of Doublelift, because that's not what he excels at. You want to play with Doublelift when you can put all your resources into his basket and give him the carry shoes, but it just seemed like he never really got accustomed to the supportive style of ADC, and at least that's my take. I'm not really sure if he that's one of the reasons why he retired, but it seemed like the ADC role over the years is lost some agency. Yeah,
it's kind of been watered down.
You can't do what you used to be able to do.
Because I'll agree there. Actually, the NA Uzi is what he's always tried to be, but he's of course. And of course, now with season 11, it's just getting worse.
Let's not talk about season 11 just yet. I'm having ADC main is.
Bro, I'm playing ADC too, bro.
As a Mundo jungle, I'm enjoying my life.
As the person who built full tank Senna and still got one shot by Rengar at 1.5 items, it's great. It's just great. To throw fuel on the fire, though, I don't think TSM's performance at Worlds should be solely put on Doublelift. In the game that Nightwing was talking about, there's one person that made that entire interaction unforgivable in my eyes.
Biofrost?
Biofrost was on Leona. Leona?
The worst game was
Galio.
Alistar, the first game, dude.
Literally.
Level 1?
Dude.
Yes.
Oh my god.
No, you're 100% right. But what I'm saying is,
Oh, the Alistar play.
Yeah,
it was
so bad.
so like I think the main reason that Doublelift probably has just decided to throw in the towel, it might be because they can't get Sword Art. And I'm pretty sure that's the main reason that he was at least willing to play another season, was because
to give it a try.
Give it a try. If you're with a world class, as an ADC main, I will say this: playing with a good support and playing with a okay to bad support,
that NA
radically
support.
different.
Yeah,
so different. A good support will make your lane literally a joy to play. A bad support will make you tear your hair out and end up
last night.
Retiring.
Lux died 10 times in 15 minutes. I was like, dude, I'm not flaming you, but come on, bro.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. Straight up, it was Aphelios Lux versus Pike and Caitlyn. I was like, dude, please stop dying. I was just 0-3. I was like, just stop. He was like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Yeah.
Well, you're leaving base for one thing. I mean.
But overall, for Doublelift to put some positive on his retirement, Doublelift in the LCS Summer Split of 2015, he had no trophies, and he finally won his first trophy. And then I can always respect someone going from nothing to being on top, right?
Oh, he turned that meme upside down. The Doublelift trophy case. Oh yeah, I would say he's the greatest NA player of all time. Like he has to be. Like,
and then when he says he didn't get out of group stage, I'm like, that's kind of a lie. MSI has a group stage. You literally have to get out of a group stage to go to the semifinals at MSI for 2019, and he got to the group stage and he got to the finals. So that's why I said 2019 was his best year. Even at the 2019 World Championship, I think he played fine. I think 2019 was his best year.
2019 was more so on the mid jungle synergy of Team Liquid. That was not on the bot lane. That was not on the bot lane at all.
I think he played perfectly fine that year.
He definitely has nothing to look back on and be ashamed.
Yeah.
Like he did a lot for this region, I'd say.
You could argue for the region. Doublelift, Bjergsen are the two most legendary icons. It's weird. Doublelift has more titles than Bjergsen. And people like Bjergsen more because he doesn't trash talk, which I think is kind of unfair to Doublelift. Like people are gonna be like, "Oh my, you're trash talking. You deserve this."
Is that the reason?
See, I'm the opposite though. I'm the opposite. I actually didn't. Now, part of this is bias, I will fully admit. When Bjergsen came in and stomped on my boy High, I was definitely
dude, that's my boy too. High was my OG favorite.
Yeah. No, so I love Doublelift for the fire that he brought, and honestly, listening to Perks gave me that hearing Perks just dunk on his entire team and then the entirety of NA brought that little flame to my chest that I haven't felt since I don't know 2015, when Doublelift was allowed to actually trash talk. And so I'm gonna miss having someone who at least had the balls to jump in an interview and be like, yeah, the other team's trash. I'm gonna miss that more so than I'm gonna miss Doublelift or Bjergsen's. Bjergsen didn't even say anything. I remember Bjergsen, the reason why
people like him more is because they want NA players to have a personality, but when they say anything, they get scrutinized. And I respect Doublelift and Perks for doing that. I just don't know why it's more accepted for Perks because he's done more than what Doublelift did. I mean, they're being real and they're being honest.
No, it's all accomplishment based. Perks can say whatever the fuck he wants. He is the king of the West now, right? So I think that's what. Unfortunately, I think that's what Doublelift fell short of. He had the personality, he had the charisma, he had the trash talk, but when you fail internationally over and over again at Worlds, then it's going to be there's going to be a subsect of the population that's just okay, well,
and
you're Achilles in a way.
Because in 2019 at the MSI, they beat IG. If he could look back on anything and go, I did that, he beat IG, and people are like, well, that was kind of lucky IG through. People gotta understand, man, them beating IG was the odds were literally 100-0. That's a predictable, dude. No one had TL beating them. That was one of the biggest upsets ever, and that's something
that's the greatest best of 5 of all time for NA, right? You can't. I'm trying to think. I don't think that they're even the win against Africa Freaks. You can't rate that higher than the win against IG.
Because the narrative's going to that series was they're actually just gonna get butt fucked, literally 20-minute games.
Yeah.
And that's what Bjergsen will never have on his career is beating. Doublelift beat IG in a freaking best of 5. Now it sucks though because right after that they got obliterated. But hey, you know he got something there. So that's why
Did you see Perks' tweet about that?
Oh my god!
Wait, you should share it if you can.
No, like I love my
I'm gonna
boy
find
Perks.
it. Hold on.
I love my boy Perks. No, I read it. I know what you're talking about. Oh my god, that shit had me in tears, dude. It's so funny.
Hold on. I got you. Here, I got it. I'd like to take a moment to truly appreciate TSM Doublelift's career. Not only an NA hero, but also EU hero. He's the one who gave EU the first international trophy in MSI of 2019. Thank you, Peter. You are a legend.
Wow!
You're kidding.
Dude, I freaking love Perks, man. He's my freaking spirit animal.
Dude, it's crazy.
Christ, what a savage.
Hey, Jack wasn't lying, man. Perks comes over. They're like, all right, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah. To be fair, Jack, I love C9. Okay, I'm a C9 fan. Let me just put that out there. C9 bias. When Jack tweeted about everyone leaving because Perks is joining that tweet, he did take an L there because Spica came back with the ratio response. I don't know if you saw that. But yeah, I love the banter right now going on around the scene.
I think it's fun.
Really good. It's really good.
I think Perks adds something that the league hasn't had. Like the league needed that. It's like that, you know, like you have let's say you guys are in relationships with people who you want to be with, right? And then like there's something there where you know how like a girl or guy, let's say whoever you're with, that's fine. You know, they kick you and like, come on, you can do more, you can be better. I think that's what Perks can bring in NA. Perks is the type of girl in the relationship or guy that like kicks you, like, no, be better, do something, go to college, get a job, do something.
Okay. All right. Slightly loco doco analogy right here. We're going with the girls. Okay.
No, but I think Nightwing touches on something incredibly important though, because before Perks, specifically last season, who was the best mid laner? Jensen, I would say personally. And
Jensen,
would we really say that Jensen compares to Perks?
No.
So the absolute best player that was in NA last season is someone that everyone's like, yeah, Perks is going to absolutely stomp on him.
Okay,
like Perks just basically shows up and single-handedly has given, I think, NA players someone that they can all go look at least in North America, and go, okay, we need to be as good or better than this guy. Like you can be like, oh well, you know, Caps and Faker and Knight and Showmate. Like there's all these great players worldwide, but it's something entirely different to have a player in your region who you will play against consistently.
Yeah, you're gonna have so much chances to.
The differential between Perks and everyone else right now is only like comparable to when Bjergsen first joined the league. Him versus High. Like. Bro. I was definitively the second best mid laner at that time.
It's crazy though. Not to derail, but me and my friends were talking, like me and my friend, and we're like, why did High ever get an MVP? Like High is
because shot calling is always underrated, and it wasn't really figured out until many more seasons. Like you can't really put he had these intangibles, right? Like you can't really put that as a CS number or like a differential in mid. Like it's hard to give him the MVP when Bjergsen was literally 1v9ing.
And then literally during the announcement video for Perks on C9's YouTube channel, he was like, C9 has 3 trophies. Oh, that's weak game. Oh
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
The moment that he was like, I aim to triple that, I just paused and I was like, all right, we're just gonna.
They should they take a picture of Trump and put Perks' face on it, and I'm gonna make the LCS great again. You have to do that, man.
That line was gold. I'm gonna make the LCS great, not again, because it's never
great. At this point, as NA fans, we gotta just laugh at ourselves, you know, and just accept that someone who is so out of our league is coming in, and just take him for what he's worth. Like,
well, it's just crazy because it's like, imagine a world where we ever were to get Knight, Showmaker, Chovy. They would have came over, but they would have never talked or did any of those things.
I was literally talking about this the other day.
They're so humble that they would have just come over and been like, "Yeah, I win, but I don't really care to talk about it.
But that's the good thing.
I got a good
having
take
Perks.
about that. I have a good take that is worth discussing. So I think that C9, not TSM anymore because they didn't get Sword Art, but C9 and CLG actually are going to be really good litmus tests coming into next season. And this was a take that one of the callers on Travis' show had on Hotline League, which is, if you can't beat C9 with these rookie teams, does that make future teams say, hey, maybe we shouldn't go for all rookie talent. We should go back to what we were doing before and get veteran talent. Similarly with C9, if C9 somehow, and I'm really hoping this doesn't happen, the only chance it doesn't happen is if Blabber somehow combusts again. But if C9 doesn't make Worlds, or if somehow they fall to like third place behind TL and whoever the second place team is, does that make other imports less hesitant to join when they see, wow, even Perks couldn't take this region out of groups? Like, I'm really worried about that. That's I think an angle that's not really talked about, because if Perk succeeds, I think he's going to be the catalyst to bring people like, maybe not, over the hill talent, but like talent like Crown Shot or Nemesis, or these people that don't have teams now and are still saying, hey, no, NA is just not worth it. That's like a career death sentence. He could bring them here. But if he fails, it's just going to be, I think, the nail in the coffin for top talent to want to come to NA. Because if Perks can't do it, no one can.
Okay, so there is a caveat to this, and I think it's more... I think we've already been having this discussion, specifically in regards to when we look at Liquid and TSM. Cloud9 is in the mix there, but I feel like Cloud9 has done more to elevate the rookie scene than they have to showcase what the import scene can do in the last little while. So TSM is a perfect example of a team that can get the best possible player and still fail. And so the real argument should be, is Cloud9, the real argument or question that I'm asking is Cloud9 the only team that can pick up these top tier players and make them work? Because every other team has taken, several seasons to make the investment or to make the player look good. And even then, if we're looking at like, Impact, Svenskeren, like all of these big names, it took going to Cloud9 for them to become, like, be recognized as, again, top tier players. So it's like, I feel like if CLG can be competitive and, take on Team Liquid, who got Alfari, that'll be the showcase of like, hey, you need to have the team dynamic and how the team approaches the game is more important than the individual players. And if you have a team that can elevate their players, like what hopefully CLG will do with this almost entirely rookie team, then, if C9 succeeds with Perks, I think that says more to C9 than it does to the rest of the region.
Wait,
yeah,
but
but
CLG had mostly veterans.
No, they have Finn, Broxa, Pobelter, Wild Turtle, and Smoothie. Roughly, yeah.
Are you talking about FlyQuest?
See,
it's just so crazy, man. Hanser doesn't have a team, but Finn does. I still cannot get over it.
Bro, how does Stixay have a team over Cody-san? There's
Dude.
no way you're gonna tell me side by side.
And okay, fine. Cody-san is like a veteran. We've tried him. He can't break to the top 4 barrier. Okay, King. There's so many rookies available that are.
If you're saying that Cody-san can't break the top 4 barrier like some people have been,
Stixay, I know.
Really? Oh, well, logic.
No,
yeah, it's not.
We don't have to.
You don't need logic anymore. You just throw random shit out there and hope people.
I can't believe it, dude. I can't. When they said Stixay, I was just like, what are you doing?
Literally, Cody-san is better than Stixay. What?
The one angle I was willing to give them when they drafted Finn, I was like, okay, he is young. He's not technically a rookie, but he is young. He wasn't performing great. Maybe they're going to draft a team of rookies just like everyone else, and I'm fine with that. You don't have to perform. Draft young talent and give them a shot. No, we're going with the oldest freaking proven to disproven roster possible. It's a massive.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch of like.
Sorry, Gilgamesh, you're 100% right. I was meaning FlyQuest.
No, but I think your point
FlyQuest has
some
Diamond, Johnson, Palafox,
Yes,
Joe Cito, thank you, and Licorice.
Yeah.
And at CLG was where it's like, so it's like FlyQuest, CLG, and C9 are like the perfect litmus test because you've got CLG with let's have all veterans and FlyQuest with like let's have all rookies and like one proven player, and then C9's like, well, this is money, so this is what our team looks like with a shit ton of money on it.
Yeah.
So let me answer his take two ways. So the issue with rookies is most people, I know most NA fans are not going to do this. I think most NA fans should understand that as a rookie, you probably are not going to be obviously taking down Perks or teams of that caliber. But who's the background noise right there?
I don't think it's me.
Nope, not me.
Wait, speaking of though,
speaking of background noise,
FlyQuest.
Yeah.
So another team that's going to be right up there to watch is going to be Golden Guardians, because they've got a team of all rookies aside from 6A.
Not very high on them. Yeah, there we go.
Dude, they have
There
they have one of the biggest rookies to come into the scene though, Niles.
That's what I was asking. Have you seen his games?
What?
Niles?
Have you actually watched
He's
his
a
games,
monster.
or do you just know that he's talked about?
I
Because
just
I've only
think
seen
that-
one.
I've
I've only
seen-
ever seen one.
He was
His
in
academy
collegiate.
and his
I do.
collegiate games.
I remember him
Yeah.
being in collegiate. I forgot what school it was, but I remember his name. He was.
I just
he
know
was
people
always
have
the
been talking
best.
about him for years, and they're like, "Oh, he needs to be brought into academy. He
I
needs to
don't
be
know.
brought into LCS."
Yeah.
So-
But it could. We have to be careful though, because it could be another Mike Young story.
Yeah, I'm fine with what like the fact that they went with new talent. I'm fine with. I don't understand how their roster fits together at all because, again, I don't know enough besides what the caster said in the one game I watching Niles, and he's supposed to be a player that plays with resources. If you look at the rest of that roster, they drafted rookie talent, but all of their rookie talent plays with resources. So one of them is going to have to change their style as a rookie, and that doesn't make sense to me. Like if you're going to draft rookie talent like FBI and you're going to play around FBI, you got to have the rest of the team buy into that philosophy. Have Closer be your early game lead gatherer. Hanser plays weak side. Damonte plays to roam. That makes sense. You're playing around FBI as your primary carry. That makes a lot of sense. Golden Guardians roster doesn't make any sense to me. Like they all want resources. I don't get it.
So Golden Guardians. So if you guys don't know, it's Niles, and then it's
Iconic.
Iconic, which is like another. Is he collegiate? I think he came with Niles, right? Or was he not?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
the combo package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what is their mid, like a Blaze?
Blaze
Olive.
Olive. He was a TSM. He was first TSM Academy, and then he went to Golden Guardians Academy, and then he got promoted to. Golden
Oh yeah, I
Guardians
completely
Academy.
forgot he was on the academy. And then Stixay, who
It's
Literally.
not.
And then they
yeah.
have
That's what I mean.
Then they have
They
a
have
Latin
another
American
Hispanic support. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
his name is
Newbie.
or something.
Newbie. Yeah. So for me personally, I would have liked the roster better if they got Cody Son over Stixay because Stixay's been really bad for a while.
6A is washed, dude.
Yeah.
Like
He's
I'm not,
actually
trying to
not
be I'm not trying to be a dick, but he's washed at this point.
And
Like,
how good would Cody Sun fit into that team? He plays for late game. He literally is used to his
Stable.
support ditching him and roaming all the time. Like that makes sense. Like I don't get it. Stixay, even though he's not good, I'll just say that he's not that good, and he also has a team play around him. If you watch CLG, they played around Stixay. Like Wiggly couldn't get anything done. They let go of Crown, and Ruin was not getting anything done, so they started playing around Stixay, and he couldn't do it. So it's like, I don't know. I don't get the vision of this team at all. But
I mean, if we want to talk about interesting vision, though, I mean, Team Liquid brought in Alfari to replace Impact, which is just like, I don't want to say it's contradictive to what the team has been doing, but it is a bit contradictive to what the team
Wait,
is doing.
you don't like Alfari?
TSM wants to change.
No,
that.
I love Alfari. I love Alfari, but Santorin is notorious for being a mid lane focused jungler.
That was my thing too. It's like you bring in Alfari, I think that's an upgrade, but the problem is Santorin. Santorin doesn't inherently fix the problem that they want. The problem TL has is fast-paced aggression. What is Santorin does not fix that. I'm just saying, like, Santorin doesn't fix that for me.
If they brought in Svenskeren,
or you bought Blabber from Cloud9, I think that would have fixed a lot of their problems.
I got a question. So wait, Track, what do you envision? How do you envision their team playing out? Like, what do you think is going to happen with their team ideally? Like, if they had the perfect meta, how do they play?
If they have the perfect meta, they play for topside with Alfari being their primary carry. Jensen and Tactical have proven themselves to be very consistent and very effective and stable carries. Especially Jensen. Jensen in the late game is still terrifying. So you have your late game insurance policy of Jensen. You have your early game insurance policy with Core JJ and whoever they brought on as jungle. I wouldn't have brought on Santorin. I honestly would have either aimed for Blabber or Svenskeren. Personally, I think they would fit more with Team Liquid's current play style. And so that way, if Alfari booms, because Alfari has been a bit of a feast or fire kind of top laner for a lot of his career. And so, yeah, if Alfari gets ahead, well, there you go. Alfari's just going to 1v9. If he gets behind, you still have Jensen and Tactical, as well as Core JJ, and whoever you have as jungle to fall back on. And all of them are more than capable of stabilizing and taking back the game from there. That's the way I see it. My main problem is Nightwing hit it on the head. Santorin is a mid lane focused jungler historically. Maybe again, we are talking historically. Maybe they see something different.
He doesn't play through mid. He plays with mid. Correct. Yeah, he's not like Yankos who like perma ganks mid and gets caps or perks or whoever it is super far ahead. He more so uses mid lane pressure to get objectives, right? Like that's
exactly
the way I would characterize it. Exactly. That's interesting because I would think that, and again, maybe I don't know enough about Alfari. I'll be honest, I didn't watch too many of his games. I thought that he was a versatile jungler with a much larger champion pool than Impact. And so I thought that they were going to play around Jensen for the most part. Get him ahead and have bot lane. They have the best bot lane in the league. So I thought that they were going to leave bot lane alone, play through Jensen, and then have two side lanes that are super stable and able to play any play style that's meta.
That's one way they could. Yeah.
There is one issue there, though. And the main thing is, so this is going back to last year when they were trying to bring Brox in. They were trying to hard push the mid jungle 2v2 identity. And the thing is Jensen's not really that player early. I don't think Jensen's really a player that wants to interact a lot early game with the jungler and be very aggressive and push for early game leads and deficits. Like he wants to just scale and play a consistent game like Track was talking about. So I think that's kind of the issue they might run into this season. Because Santorin, I don't think is going to be able to break out of his shell that much to change into being that more of an aggressive jungler, or push Jensen to the edge where Jensen's going to try to be a little more, blood hungry and like go after things like that. I don't know. It's not me.
No, I agree, Gilgamesh. My main concern is when I think of Jensen, I think of him playing Cassiopeia or Azir. I see him pushing out, just dunking on the opponent laner, securing a CS lead, securing I'm going to be able to roam first to help out, basically asserting lane dominance. The jungler doesn't always come in, and it doesn't really matter because Jensen pretty much always ends up either at bare minimum even, usually ahead by the end of the laning phase. And so I just don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to pull off this hard carry 2v mid jungle synergy that we've seen. And more to the point, I don't think that's what this meta is going to emphasize either.
Yeah, they were trying to be more of like a TSM/C9 with Blabber Niski combo is what they were aiming for, that type of play style. And that's not what their players are. Their players aren't that.
I don't think that's okay. I mean, I can definitely see the point that Jensen doesn't play for the early game. I will agree with that. I don't agree with the fact that he hasn't been good with good junglers. If you remember back to Jensen Blabber when they were subbing out Golden Glue and Svenskeren,
Swirlbros, yeah.
really good with Blabber. He was really, really good with Blabber, and he enabled Blabber a lot. Better in certain situations, better than Niski did. Now, Niski had the perfect meta in the spring where you were just shoving and roaming nonstop, wave after wave. But I don't know. I still think that Jensen can play to his jungler, and Santorin can play through Jensen. It seems like Jensen's still the best player on that team, even with Alfari there. So I would think that they would want to play through Jensen. But again, it would be awesome if they played through Alfari, and you have a really interesting dynamic then when TL faces C9, because C9 is going to play through their mid jungle. And
I mean,
rookie top player who now has to go against Alfari, who's apparently being played through.
Okay, I'm just going to say this. Do we really know, though? Because I hate to say it, but Blabber
might end up being a G2 again.
That's basically what I'm kind of thinking.
It might end up being G2 how it used to be, where, he's just stable and Zed then becomes God tier, is what I'm thinking.
I'm not even thinking like meta-wise. I'm more just thinking like Perks comes and just dunks on the mid laners. If we're dealing with like a faker situation where the jungler doesn't even show up and we're still getting
what's up, man? What's up, Thomas? How you doing?
And he's still getting kills and like soloing out the mid laners and stuff. Blabber is free to play around Fudge, Sven, and basically top and bot. And
I mean, we're talking about assuming
potential out of that.
Yeah, okay. If it's just a mid diff every game skill wise, then we don't really need to talk about like the stylistic elements, right? Like, if he gets solo kills every game, then you can play through whatever lane you want. But I'm thinking like if it's a TL versus C9, like in that matchup, I don't think Perks is solo killing Jensen. Jensen isn't gonna solo die to Perks. I don't think so. It's only if they play around Jensen. If they play around Perks, I mean, then I see Jensen ending. But I don't think that he's going to 1v1 lose. Mm-hmm. That's just my take.
Yeah, you're probably right on there. It would just come down to champions and who has the better day at that point. I wouldn't say that Jensen can't 1v1 die to Perks. I think it's very real.
Yeah,
but I think moreover, if they have similar stable lane, like I don't know if it's a Azir versus who plays really well into Azir right now. The meta is so fucked. Like just
Caitlyn Azir. Just farm into 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. If it's a Caitlyn versus Azir, guess what? No, probably nobody's gonna die. We're gonna have a 20-minute game.
It's kind of weird, but like they play a lot of Echo into Azir.
Dude, I just take Nashers and throw it in the freaking trash can. I hate that item right now so much.
Can we just take season 11 and do that?
Holy shit. If I see another AP Twitch, Nashers, Riftmaker combo, I'm going to lose my mind.
Kale, I'm just fucking the Sunfire Aegis.
I got dunked on, but I did not realize Samira was as broken as she is until a couple nights ago when I played. And no, she in one combo took me down 586 health at level 2. It's like, that's not okay.
She and Jen are the most busted ADs right now.
This discussion makes me want to watch Perks versus Jensen at Worlds again. It might be good to watch that even though it is an older patch. No, sometimes my autoplay on YouTube will throw me back. Guys, I got thrown back to like 2015 games and shit. Where you had Faker literally playing Olaf into Aurelia mid, just running people down.
Wait, so he has played Perks before?
Yeah.
At what? Because I know that they just played G. No.
Jensen.
I was saying Jensen.
No, this is Perks. Old though. Like, okay, to be fair,
when did they play?
Really
I would not.
Because Perks was ADC
before he got to C9, I think. Right? Is that what we're talking about?
Let me see. Perks versus.
I don't think he's played Perks before at Worlds because he played him this Worlds, but Perks was ADC.
He played Caps last World.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he never played Perks mid, did he?
He never played Perks mid so far, from what I remember.
No, you're right. Yeah,
He's
you're
only
right.
played
It was
Caps.
before he's only.
Yeah,
played
dude.
Okay.
It's so exciting.
No, you're right.
I don't think we've ever seen Perks versus Jensen or Bjergsen. I'm trying to think of it, but I really
Perks.
don't.
No, it was that. No, we have seen Jensen versus Perks. Oh my God, Rift Rivals 2017.
Yeah.
Rift Rivals 2017. They played in Rift Rivals.
MSI
G2.
finals. Wait a second. Oh.
No.
Wait.
That's Jensen versus Caps.
That's
At
just
Rift Rivals,
yeah.
At
But to
Rift
be
Rivals
honest with you,
2017, Perks, the mid laners were Jensen, fucking Ryu, and Bjergsen, and then it was Perks, Caps.
Because that was the year when 100 Thieves was actually good.
Yeah.
And they won.
No. That Rift Rivals 2017 was Phoenix 1, where they had Mike Young. He was the MVP of the event.
Was
That's 2017. They played against each other, but the problem is that's Rift Rivals. Ain't nobody count that shit. It's so terrible.
yeah, true.
Oh.
Yeah.
May I say though, I
To-
legitimately do think that fucking Jensen would die to a Perks in lane though.
Really?
Yeah.
To be frank.
I think given how aggressive
'Cause
Perks is,
think about
and
it,
given
like-
how like Perks plays through his jungler, I really
I
think
linked
it's
the
easily
video,
possible.
by the way, of Rift Rivals.
Whoa.
That's legit.
If Bjergsen,
That
when
is,
he
yeah.
was in the LCS, solo killed Jensen on multiple occasions, Perks could solo kill him. Let's be frank.
But again, I think it more comes down to champions because
That too,
we've
yeah.
seen. Yeah, I'm going to harken back way long back to Unicorns of Love, where they were notorious in their debuts for running unconventional picks, like say Twisted Fate
ran
Jungle.
stuff. Yeah, they ran stuff. People legitimately thought they were trolling all the time.
Yeah,
because
Isn't that what?
a good example.
Oh, sorry. Finish.
No, it's all good. My point is, in that one of those UL games, I'm gonna have to go back in my mental history. They managed to get a LeBlanc versus Xerath matchup. Boy, you bet your ass that LeBlanc solo killed Xerath. It's like, so if we got into that situation, like, yeah.
CC.
That's fair. I mean,
all right.
yeah.
So I wanted to pivot out towards Doublelift since this Doublelift retired. So what would
You're
be your guys' favorite Doublelift moment? One of my earliest favorite ones was like, can't wait to take down these smug Asians. Fuck. You can't say that. You can't say that now. You will actually get canceled.
I mean, you can.
It's Chinese, right?
Bro, they don't. Americans don't care. You know, there's feminists up. They don't care what you think or what
That's
you want.
I don't know if this is like a standalone moment more than just the entire finals match, but Doublelift went through a certain tragedy that I don't need to go into detail with, but people reacted in a different way. He decided to play that finals, and he smurfed that entire finals, and I thought that was like the moment where I was just like, this guy is going to go down history as one of the greatest players of all time. Like, that was like the truly defining moment for me, that like, hey, I doubted Doublelift in the past or whatever. He's just built different, man. So that was my
Okay. This is going to be obscure. I think one of my favorite moments. This is so long ago, but it still sticks in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Renegades versus TSM. Doublelift. Callista.
Oh, the Callista Quadra kill?
Callista Quadra kill.
Yeah.
That
That's an old school one.
Just
Bro,
holy
I was in
crap.
the same year. Remember C9 got to the finals for LCS Spring 2016, and then Summer 2016 finals, and then
Summer 20,
yeah, the Lucian outplay where Jensen messed up with the top.
That's your favorite? That's
No,
your
it's what, no, but that was like, oh my god, like that was actually an outplay. I
try to forget about that. I try to forget about that moment.
Wait,
He
which one?
smurfed on us, dude. He just smurfed on us.
Bro, Impact was carrying
The
so
Lucian,
hard that game.
Was
Yeah.
it
Lucian in the mid
versus
lane,
P9?
remember?
Oh,
Lucian.
yeah. His
Yeah.
highlight reel.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I was
Dude.
gonna say because there was another one with Lucian that he did near Baron. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, it was 2016.
Yeah.
2016
Where
summer.
he
2016, yeah.
basically killed 3 people because they were lined up trying to run away from him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Moving away from the plays though,
Mhm.
I think one of the defining Doublelift moments though is there's been he has this meme where he walks in front of the camera. I think the first time it happened was during the Earth. When was that? Jesus Christ. The first ever Earth championship series, where he just like literally does a walk around to all the cameras in the studio, just like looking at them. And they just kept doing it, where like World would come around and Peter would just walk in front of the camera. It was just
what about when they were playing up against Team Liquid and Matt was trying to get him with Galio and he Tristana dodged it and then he killed 2 people and then he still died. I was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, bot lane.
That was bro. He's had some pretty good plays for NA standards. I'll say that. Or there was the Kaisa. No, my favorite one was the Kaisa at MSI 2018.
Yeah, versus IG.
Oh my god, when he got in front of him, they got that triple kill. That was because literally TL were getting thrashed every day, and I was like, come on, where's the fight in these guys? Expect these steals.
What about the first championship he ever won on Jinx Pentakill? Remember that?
I remember watching that live at work, dude. Oh my, the crowd went insane. That's why I miss crowd so much, bro. Yeah. And then he got in that same spot. He did it again, like a couple years later, to Hui.
Did he?
Yeah, I remember they're playing up against CLG when CLG had Dardoch, and they did it in that same spot. He got a triple kill, but what was the
yeah. I do remember that. That's insane.
My god.
He's looking for Bjergsen.
Oh. And you remember when he went to TL to bail them out of relegation?
Yeah.
So the first game he played against TSM, his old team, he was playing against Bjergsen's Ahri, and he was playing Ezreal. He sat in a top bush, and Bjergsen face-checked him, and he solo killed Bjergsen. The crowd went nuts on that. Very low in terms of all-time plays, but I remember that play especially. It was insane.
I don't know. I've only been playing League since Season 7, so I don't really have like the full chronological history that you guys have.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what's your elo? I just need to.
I'm flat.
Okay, all right. No, we're fine. If you said diamond or above, and if I'd been playing, let's say from Season 3, and you said you were above diamond, I'd probably have to leave here. So
I've been playing.
You can't be higher ranked than me.
I've been playing since Season 7, but I started ranked in Season 8. So
that's really good, dude.
Little 2 3.
Yo, man, we are people of entertainment, so our rank doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right.
True.
Yeah,
I used to play Super Smash Brothers prior to League.
When you have people on Reddit saying that they can be better draft coaches than people in the scene, the scene's fucked up. People are crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh no, but Doublelift retiring, I'm gonna miss him. But he gave us a lot of laughs, a lot of trash talk, a lot of great highlight, memorable moments. He shouldn't be sad that he didn't do well at Worlds. Yeah, he should. But hey.
I think it's always going to be a regret of his, and
I'm
just going to say it. I don't think he's retiring forever.
Hey,
I think this is a Doublelift taking spring off. Gonna just come back as a hero in the summer type of situation. I don't know, man. We'll see.
What is his age?
I didn't actually read like his actual statement, so maybe he's actually very, very serious about this. So I'm not going to meme. If he is leaving forever, he is going to be remembered, at least for the next couple of years, as the greatest NA player of all time. I think so. It's a debate between him and Bjergsen, but hey, this guy is a native-born NA talent. Like, Bjergsen came here from EU. You got to take that into consideration. No one's ever done what he's done from, United States. So, props to him.
I'm going to address this before we go to the next topic, which is Nemesis. There's a couple people that felt like I wasn't being genuinely honest in my video about Doublelift. Guys, this is in all of my retirement videos. I always give respect toward the player's career. I could go in on a lot of things Doublelift has done. I can. But there's plenty of time to do that. It's a retirement video. I'm giving respect towards his career. True. What do we do? Rag on him in his career? No, that's not. I didn't do that for Bjergsen. I didn't do that for Uzi. I didn't do that for Prey. Any player that is retired, I've never did that. I respect your career and what you've achieved. But I'm always gonna be honest and real about my opinions. I might say some shit that might piss you off, but hey, I'm being honest. That's the best I can offer you. But I just want to make sure I got that out of the way. But anything else about Doublelift you guys wanted to say?
No, I'll just be sad to not see him play. Honestly, I have been watching since Season 2. So it's been a very, very, very,
Bro, I've been watching
very long time.
since
I
season
know.
4. Yeah, it's been a while, man. Things have
It's been
changed.
a long, and not seeing him in the LCS is gonna be even harder than, honestly, when C9 first broke up their original roster. Like that was probably one of the hardest moments. But not seeing Doublelift, like it's Doublelift. Like I thought he was like just
I hope he stays in
never
the
going to
scene.
retire. I thought he was just going to continually play until like literally teams were going, okay, Doublelift, you just
you're too old. Just
you're 50, man. We gotta move on for you.
Bro,
Like,
the amount of pentakills that Doublelift has gotten, the Sivir pentakill against Immortals back in 2016 summer, the Ash pentakill when he had 9 fingers at one point because he injured one. Oh my god.
He was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was the first player to reach 1,000 kills in North America, if I remember that correct.
Was it
I'm pretty sure it was either him or Sneaky. I can't.
Sneaky had 1,000. Was it
Sneaky had 1,000?
Was it Bjergsen?
Or was it Bjergsen first and then double it? Anyways,
I know.
Point is,
yeah,
he is one of like a very, 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 very small number of players to ever reach 1,000 kills. Honestly, he'll be missed, and I'm sad to see him go. But at least he went out on his terms instead of having one of those slow death retirements that I'm always really sad about.
Now he can have kids with Lena, and no one's gonna be mad at him for that. Just saying.
He'll leak the.
No comment. All I'm gonna say is before Lena, he was the best ADC in NA.
Wow!
That's all I'm gonna say.
Bro.
No. Where's the
I link the Crumbs video about the girlfriends, League of Legends girlfriends, real quick.
Oh my God,
that's just because Crumbs can't kill. I mean, what?
All right. So as you
He's
guys know, Fnatic and Nemesis have chosen to part ways. As you guys already know, Niski is going to be playing for Fnatic. So I just want to get you guys' opinions and takes of Nemesis, actually, from watching him from the LEC 2019 spring split all the way up until now, which we're in, almost in 2021 for the season 11, which is because when Nemesis came in, he was supposed to be a player that could rival Caps, and that's what the narratives were for him coming in. I think he was good in 2019, though. I really think he was pretty solid. He just digressed in 2020. I don't know if that was online play. I don't know if it was just a mentality thing. I don't know if it's something going at home, but he genuinely looked pretty off this year. Like players like Zazie, players like Maliksa, players like what's his name, Larson. No, who I forgot his name. That's the rogue mid laner, right? Is Larson, right?
Yeah.
Larson. Yep. And who's the other guy? Humanoid. They all looked better. Guys, Zazie was on SK freaking Gaming. Team Vitality and Maliksa. These teams are dog trash. These teams are terrible.
In my opinion, he was a great player on the wrong team on the right champion pool. Like his champion pool was his biggest issue out of anything else about his play. Like when he pulled out his Kale, when he pulled out his Veigar, and they were actually good in the comps that he played, he was styling on people. Even in EU against some of the best mid laners. It's when he had to play meta champions like Orianna, Azir, I think his Galio was fine too. Like exactly. Like when he had to play really, really meta champions is when he really struggled, which sucked, obviously. And they're replacing him with someone who I think is a much better fit for Fnatic's playstyle. But Nemesis on the right team could be insanely good. Like if you have him as the X factor around a team that's really consistent, he would be much better than he was. But he had to fit a role to enable his jungler, who admittedly is the best jungler in the West, in my opinion. And so I think that it's just tough, the position he was in. I think he's one of the best players. I'm trying to think. I wouldn't say top 5, but top 10 in the West. I know that's not saying much, but he's a very solid above average player. And if he was to come fit into like Golden Guardians or not Golden 100 Thieves, I mean, it would be an upgrade. That's my opinion.
I agree. I think you're pretty much spot on. What I would say though is I think Niski is a better fit for Fnatic than the majority of mids that I can think of.
Yes.
Niski plays an insanely good, I'm going to say supportive mid laner in the most loose sense, from the fact that he enables his junglers to thrive. His roaming playstyle is, if there's any junglers that would complain about having a very effective roaming mid laner, I have not met them. And so having Selfmade, who I will agree is easily, in my opinion, one of the best junglers in the entire, at least West region. I would honestly say Selfmade is potentially one of the best junglers currently in the world. Like he is just, it's insane
I wanted
to watch him
piggyback
play.
on one of the points you wanted to make. So I know Red Mali Costa. Is that
That's
how you
me.
pronounce that? Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You,
No,
so you
my
make that
real
point
name is
last.
Tharma, by the way. But
Okay.
that's my favorite.
So last time you were here, what I was gonna say was, I think personally for Fnatic, these are like slight upgrades for things that they've needed. Upset is better mechanically. He can play better with Hylissang. Then you have Niski, who plays better with his jungler than Nemesis.
Yes.
How are these things not upgrades? Just because they're not like player upgrades doesn't mean that, you know, they can be upgrades in different ways, though. A lot of people just look at the surface level.
I linked a post that I made, and I made this account recently. I'll say that it's Purse Clap My Dad. That's my Reddit account. And this, I've said this so many times. Literally, all three teams upgraded. Fnatic upgraded, G2 upgraded, and C9 upgraded. They just moved the parts to where they're supposed to be. Like, Niski is such a perfect fit with Bwipo and Hylissang and Selfmade. Like, whoever the ADC is there, as long as they're competent, that team is like going to be the most aggressive team in EU. Like, you have the roaming mid laner who's going to enable the superstar jungler. You have the top laner and support who are only know how to go in. So with the mid laner that always goes in. It's just such a good match made in heaven. Obviously, if the meta shifts and it's dog junglers with super carry mid laners, then yeah, it's a downgrade in that regard. But you can't tell me that this isn't a perfect fit synergy-wise. If the meta rolls right, there's a real world where Fnatic can actually challenge any team in EU, including G2. I genuinely mean that. That's how good Niski is at that style.
For people in the chat, I'm just saying that these are upgrades these are just upgrades in different ways. I'm not saying it's direct upgrade, like it's a flat out upgrade, they're doing everything better. Upset is better mechanically, and he's better at being aggressive when he knows he can go for the aggressive play. Reckless doesn't really do that though. I'm not saying he's bad, but it's like, I think Upset will fit better with Hylissang than Reckless did. I also think that Nemesis is going to play towards Selfmade better than what... Sorry, Niski will play better towards Selfmade better than Nemesis did. Niski literally plays through his jungler. Is that not what he did all this year? Even trying to drag Blabber's fucking dead body through the rift when they were actually failing? Like, come on. Yeah. Like, dude, we literally... He's done this all the time, though. I'm just saying...
Satson story. Satson story. PM me on Reddit. I promise you. Like, make a bet. Reddit goal right now. I promise you. Selfmade will be the MVP in either the spring or the summer. Like, that's how fucking insane Niski is, and he's basically boosting junglers across LCS and LEC. Like, I'm sure of it. This guy is so underrated.
We've seen this historically. I'm just going to harken back to the days of High, because Niski provides something to a team that cannot be quantified in terms of numbers.
Western Doinby is what he does.
Yeah.
Literally what he does.
So people are always going to underrate him because they don't see him as mechanically competent as Nemesis, which, you know what? Fair enough. In a 1v1, I'd probably still stay Nemesis would probably win. But does that make him a downgrade? Absolutely not.
No. Let me just talk about this from a mid laner's perspective. This is what he provides. So he knows what game pace is. He knows what priority back timers. He knows where item spikes are coming. Like he knows basically all these timings that are going to promote his jungler. They're going to allow for the jungler and him to have 2v2s that are going to be successful. He knows basically what champions are going to be perfect with his champion for the mid jungle 2v2. It's all of these types of things that the other mid laners, allow them to play more selfishly for the scale, for the farm. He doesn't care about that. He cares about making as much chaos as possible early to basically create that chaos, domino effect that's going to make his jungler huge come mid game. That's what you look for.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
And people are
really. Go ahead. Sorry,
I just wanted to say, like, there's a lot of people that are going to be looking at the trades of high-end teams and thinking to themselves, okay, this guy's mechanically not as sound as the other guy, and this guy has worse numbers, so therefore they're a downgrade. What these people don't understand right now is when we're talking about the highest level teams with some of the highest level players, it is more important to have a team that synergistically works perfectly than to have one player who is slightly more mechanically competent than another player. Like anyone who tries to argue that Nemesis is a better fit for Fnatic than Nisqy doesn't understand League of Legends, is probably Iron, and probably is probably the mid laner that flames their jungler. For
exactly,
not,
and even with C9, we're talking pure stylistically. Actually, Nisqy is a better fit, but it's just that Perks is actually the greatest Western player of all time, so you can sub him out, and it works out just fine because he's probably better at Nisqy at roaming too. Like that's how good Perks is. But when you compare Nisqy to Nemesis, I just don't get it. Why would you not want Nisqy over Nemesis? Now, if you wanted some other mid laner, if you're saying, hey, Fnatic needed to talk to Perks, like that's not fair that they didn't get to talk to Perks. Yeah, obviously. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say Perks would have been a worse player than Nisqy to get. I'm saying out of the options that they had, Nisqy is without a doubt the perfect fit, because if the meta rolls around, this team could make it really, really, really deep.
Reckless sometimes doesn't follow Hylissang's calls, and Hylissang dies as a result. Then Toxic Fans calls Hylissang a feeder. Good God.
No, 100%.
Wait, did he call him a feeder?
Happens.
What happened?
Okay, this happens so much where before High came back as either jungler or support, Cloud9 wouldn't be able to make a concrete call, and they just failed a lot of their fights. And as soon as they had a strong voice that was followed through consistently, they flourished. Like, people just are not able to, some people, I shouldn't say all people, a number of people are not able to separate the idea that players and teams are in fact not synonymous. A player can in fact make an individual mistake, and a team can flounder because of it's just, there's a whole bunch of things that people, so many nuances that people just ignore in face of just, this guy has better mechanics, this guy has a better CSD at 15. Numbers do not
inflated stats.
Exactly. Numbers do not tell the entire story.
It's all about
it's like my friend who you guys see on sometimes, he does that too, and people in the Discord do that too. It's like, look at these stats. I'm like, stop talking to me about jungle proximity. If you have a high tempo jungler that has to gank early on, you're going to have more jungle proximity. It also depends on which lane you're sitting in. There's so many things that go into stats where I really don't think stats should be applicable toward League unless you're talking about literally specific things that make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think
any of you guys jungle mains, by the way? Just wondering. Any jungle mains?
I like playing jungle. No, I prefer to main top in ADC. I know ADC's fun to play when you don't have a support that runs it down every single fucking game.
Imagine your mid laner being like, "Hey, you have no jungle proximity, and you're playing against the Xin Zhao. All right, like just stop talking to me." Yeah, of course he's gonna outgank me.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're playing a high tempo jungler. You're supposed to have good jungle proximity.
Yeah.
I was like, what are people saying? Stats. I have all these stats right here. Get out of my face.
Ryan's got it right.
I don't
it's not
remember
about the stats, it's about the strats.
I was literally about to say that. I was literally about to be like, I don't remember who said this, but they said
there you go,
strats,
Ryan.
not stats. It's about strats.
So that's what I think for Fnatic personally. I think that they got upgrades in ways that aren't player direct wise. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, at the end of the day, let's be honest here, G2 probably still gonna clap their asses. Let's be honest here. They're probably still gonna lose. But hey,
how sad is everyone gonna be if Niski shows up and just claps Caps? Like Caps just has the worst
ridiculous.
And Niski's just
what if Fnatic win the
king, bitches?
What if Fnatic win the LEC 2021 spring split? And they just rub it in people's faces. Oh, yeah, Fnatic downgraded the offseason.
Oh, God. That would be amazing.
That'd be
the issue with that is that it's Caps.
That's the thing, though.
If Caps. It was any other mid laner, it's just Niski's never gonna look good against Caps.
So the thing is like
neither did Nemesis.
Neither did Nemesis. Okay, so I don't think that in a 1v1 scenario, Niski will look good against Caps. However,
not even close.
However, if Fnatic can keep Caps down, if they can prevent the situation,
if
I can absolutely see a world. No, I can absolutely see a world where Fnatic would come out on top against G2. Does it require literally making Caps the most irrelevant person on the entire map with absolutely zero ability to change everything? Yes.
How do you do that? It's like they tried last year with Nemesis. They played freaking.
But to be fair, Nemesis and Selfmade did not agree on how to play the game, which I think hurt their friend. Which I think hurt their gameplay. With Niski, you're going in with a fresh mind of what they should be doing. So I hope so.
That would be really cool to see.
I don't know.
I'm rooting for Fnatic to at least prove people wrong in the way that they think they're just gonna fail without Reckless and fail without Nemesis. Yeah, that's just how I think. I think even looking at the roster upgrades on the other teams, are people really gonna put Fnatic at a second place when they do power rankings? I'm not. I'm not personally.
I don't think anything changes, man. So
if Fnatic pulls, Fnatic pulls
Vitality get that roster, but no.
If Fnatic pulls a 2015 Unicorns of Love with Kikis literally just sitting in the bush at mid lane and ganking every single time Caps back comes delayed.
Oh man.
I mean, sure, let's just go back to let's go back to
so people don't get
right? It wasn't pure laning related. How can Niski have such an advantage over Caps in that department?
It wasn't what?
It's not. I forgot which one of you guys said that. Because you guys.
All I'm gonna say is Caps is literally an unbridled psychopath when it comes to the mid lane, and Perks is literally a strategic tactician. That's their two but he's got calculated.
So Satsin's story is right about this. In that when Perks was playing, Jankos played through Perks. When Caps was playing. Well, first of all, he was dumpstering everyone in a way that I've never seen before in my freaking life. But he was actually playing through Jankos a lot of the games. Now, that's also because the jungle meta shifted to be jungle dominant meta where you have to play through the jungler. So I'll put that out there. Perks never got a chance to do that because he never had to play in that meta. But Caps is capable of doing that. So that's my issue when you compare someone like Perks and Caps to Niski. They might actually be comparable to Niski at his best style. That's how good they are. That's the difference. And so if you take away even that advantage and you give a possibly any type of a meta that isn't ideal for Niski, it's going to be such a one-sided matchup. It doesn't matter how many resources you put mid. At that point, it wouldn't matter anymore.
Yeah, we are kind of just speaking hypothetical to try to give Fnatic a little bit more leeway. I feel like a lot of people are really hard on them right now for losing Reckless and losing Nemesis. It's they didn't get terrible players though. People thinking they over here got Keith support or some shit. No, they definitely oh my god, the fact that Keith played support early this year. People think they really got some downgrades. I don't think they're downgrades. I personally, at best, they're side grades. But even with that, I could see this roster bringing them to 5 games if they make the spring split 2021 LEC finals. I can see going to 5 games, but I don't see G2 losing. If I'm being honest here, guys, they're probably getting their asses stuffed all year. But you kind of already predicted anyway. It's just,
No,
True.
it's more just a who's going to upset G2. And I think the exciting part is if Fnatic is able to get the meta that enables this Niski self-made playstyle, it's going to be terrifying.
Right.
Like anyone who watched Cloud9 in the spring split, the split that never matters, you just go watch any of the Cloud9 games and you will see exactly what we are talking about. Because Niski Blabber,
watch his Zoe games. Just if you want to, just watch any Zoe game.
It was literally basically watching Grandmasters versus Silvers. Like, it was just no chance. And so, Fnatic, with arguably self-made being an upgraded version of Blabber and Niski, I mean, that's terrifying. Is it enough to beat basically what would be the equivalent of season 3, season 4 Faker? In caps? It didn't work out for the rest.
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah. No,
if Fnatic does win, it's going to be through self-made, right? Like, it's going to be because
I'm being honest here. Self-made,
he's
got to carry all their games.
What he said, though, is so accurate.
Pick self-made Hecarim. Just give him everything. This
man says upgraded Blabber. That's so accurate.
Yeah, that's what I said a lot earlier, too. Like, self-made is literally just a better Blabber in every single regard possible, and Niski gets a stronger jungler to play through now.
Yeah.
And self-made is not gonna be a player that's gonna go, no, man, you just take all the resources. It's okay, bro. No, he's gonna give me the fucking accent.
Wait, what was that accent?
I don't even know what that was.
I'm pissed, and I don't know why.
So funny.
What was it? Andra, what you talk about coaches too? I'd like a little bit more insight. Oh, so you have Yamato being Fnatic's coach. What did you guys think about that? Because
he's gonna be Fnatic's coach.
Yeah.
You've been behind, bro. What planet do you live on?
That. No, I've heard almost everything. I didn't hear that he's gonna be Yamato. That he's gonna be Fnatic's coach.
No, okay, so he's gonna be Fnatic's head coach. They have
That's crazy.
They have, I think, 2 new assistant coaches or some shit like that. We know Yamato Cannon is their head coach, but I don't really think Mithy warranted to have his head coach position removed, because unless he was like, okay, I'm leaving, you know.
I thought Mithy's going to C9, correct?
Yeah. So, do you guys really think Yamato Cannon will do a really good job at coaching Fnatic? So basically, this Yamato Cannon's way of keeping his job to next year, 2022, is if he would literally have to get the team to beat G2. Again, that's the problem.
Dude, this team is literally so synergistically built. It's amazing. Whoever drafted this entire team with Yamato Cannon, it's perfect. He's the perfect coach for this team. Look at his entire resume. He's taken underdogs to levels that they have never been before. He is the Reaper of EU. Like, this is the perfect fit for Fnatic. He is the perfect fit because he is going to be realistic. He's not going to ask his players to do things that they cannot do. He's going to play around the style that they're really good at and master that style. And that's what's so amazing about coaches like Reaper, coaches like Yamato Cannon. Like, this is, again, it's just like such a perfect fit all around the board. If the meta clicks, this team is going to be insane. And so I think he's going to be an amazing coach. Yeah. I have go ahead.
Yamato Cannon is by far one of my favorite coaches to watch. Other than, honestly, of course I had to follow Reaper because, my boy's blue. Yamato Cannon is so good at basically strategizing. And it harkens back to his name, Yamato Cannon. Anyone who doesn't know that Yamato Cannon is a StarCraft 2 reference.
Yeah.
Anyways, point is, he is a strategic god. And you put him on a team like Fnatic, which is going to rely entirely on out-strategizing and outplaying their opponents. Maybe not mechanically, but at least on the map. I mean, it's going to be great.
I'm not trying to derail, but I'm going to upload that deleted Crackdown episode. The part I was laughing at was when Whipple said, I'd rather take it up the fucking arse, man.
I can't wait to see Whipple and Niski in the same team, man. I have 3 teams. No, I have 4 teams next season that I'm so excited to follow. Like Team Liquid, C9, Fnatic, and G2, man. Like they are just so exciting. Next year is gonna be so freaking hype.
Dude, I can't wait till the off season is over, man. Like, I want to
be
see
over
LCS right now. And
like that. Go next.
Oh God, man! I want to play right now. I want to see G2 just beat Fnatic in 20 minutes of a Rip Herald dancing in their base. How badly I want them to get stomped, and Reckless just giving the middle finger to Fnatic. Oh my God, I don't know. That'll never happen. But a man can dream. I just want to see Perks just taking down TSM and then just flaming Bjergsen. Should like Bjergsen, you were scared of me or some shit. I have to have it.
Exactly.
But overall for Yamato Cannon, I don't know. Like outside of just Vitality and Rocat from like season 5, I don't know. You know, like outside of just those teams, I don't know. That's my thing. He's kind of still a question mark for me because he didn't really make Sandbox Gaming better for this past year. But let's be honest here, they weren't going to do anything. So I think that's unfair. But in terms of just Vitality, when we looked at Vitality between 2018 to 2019, there was a really big downgrade there. I don't know if that was because of bringing in Mowgli or just player motivations, but I think C9 will be, not C9, sorry, Yamato Cannon will be a good like he's not even really an upgrade over Mithy though. I don't think Mithy was terrible, but if you got just a side grade head coach, I think Yamato Cannon is your perfect choice because you kind of factor in who else would they get really for Given. No.
Okay, but we
go back to that.
There is one other piece of the Fnatic puzzle that everyone's forgetting about. Tolkien. He was the head for he was like the strategic head for T1, and he is now the assistant coach for Fnatic.
I think adding in
I have no idea what the hell that is. So.
I remember who she's talking about. I remember.
Yeah.
It's just that when you're adding in coaches, people got to factor in a coach can do all this, and that. It doesn't really matter. A coach just gives you the draft at the end of the day. It's up to the players to play it out. It depends on the structure of the team, who's going to lead the team. Are these players going to listen? There's so many different things.
There's so many strong voices on that team. We already know that Bippo and Southmade have a really specific way they want to play the game. I think everything he's done in his like career so far makes me think that you need a players manager here. Like you don't need a strategic mastermind. You need someone who's going to identify the strengths and weaknesses of the team, be a systems coach, and say, hey, this is our style. Let's just hone in and all in on this style. Like, and I think he's just perfect for that. So we'll see.
Oh, breaking news. Doublelift is now on a Wilds Rift team. Oh my God.
That's the next step in his career?
Oh,
it's all downhill.
I want to see Niski shit on G2 and flip off cap saying, who's your daddy? God damn.
Oh.
That would be
my God.
Dude, if we go back to season 3 levels of trash talk, I am going to be so happy. Like, honestly, if we got Reckless just walking across the stage, just just dropping the fingers on G2.
Niski, in his promotion video for Niski, what did she do to match Perks? He'd be like, oh, what does Fnatic have? The last trophy was in summer 2018? All right, let's get trophies this year. We can get the trophies. God damn.
Never do accents ever again.
Bro, remember when Yankos did his interview with Travis? I love trash talking your name, man. I love it. It's like, oh my God, dude.
What the fuck?
Oh boy.
But yeah, you guys have anything more to say about Nemesis? He said he's taking the LEC 2021 Spring Split off. So he said he had offers. He probably got offered by fucking Astralis and was like, all right, no, man, I'm good, man. I'm stuck here with my OnePlus. He kept his OnePlus phone.
Yeah, I thought that was honestly really interesting that Crownshot and Nemesis especially didn't get, or I guess Nemesis did get offers in NA teams, right? Like that's what he said, that he had a bunch of offers, but he's still choosing not to entertain the offers.
Well, from the source that I did have, he was gonna play for EG, but they chose to run with Jizuke back again because Jizuke and Bang had problems, so they just chose to play Jizuke again.
He said no, or they said
Jizuke?
No. Oh.
They chose to go with Jizuke instead of Nemesis because obviously there's gonna be they didn't even know that they could get him there. It was just basically usual offseason talk. But Nemesis was on the table to come to EG because a lot of people were rumoring that. I checked with one of the guys that I talked to. He was like, yeah, it's not like it's a done deal, but it's like it's a possibility. I was like, that's not too bad.
I don't know why 100 Thieves wouldn't go for him. That seems like such a perfect fit.
But dude, it's Tanner time. What come on, dude.
Okay, I'm a Tanner stan in terms of I want my NA mids to represent, and he's been one of the best to watch. But I mean, they're going in. This is the year, right? Someday, as an upgrade over the old Golden Guardians roster, how do you not at least? Yeah, and I don't believe that they can't sign DeMonte as a backup. I don't think that DeMonte says no to playing on Academy and possibly be getting a chance if
I think
Nemesis
he does.
doesn't work out.
Really? I think he does.
Who else signs DeMonte?
Who else signs? I mean, in theory, okay. Honestly, it's really tough because there is a lot of mids that we could talk about that honestly are either too proven or not proven enough. So like Palafox, great Academy player. I'd still probably take DeMonte over him.
There's no
if you're
way.
looking, and if
this
you're
time
looking
around
at
with the
ELG,
package,
pull Belter. Well, okay, but this is what I mean. If we're just talking straight mids, rather than just like package deals, because Palafox and
I more so meant what LCS team in the spring would you like if you're DeMonte and you get an offer? Hey, you can play on Academy for 100 Thieves. What other team is interested in you?
Right now, probably nobody. At the start, I honestly think CLG might have been interested in him over top of Pobelter. I know I probably would have been. Who else?
That's a good point. That
would
be the one team. But I don't think that anyone else has the money, or at least Golden Guardians doesn't want to go with any person that isn't brand new. Maybe CLG.
Who tweeted about the whole mid situation? Because as you guys know, I'll just break this news. Obviously, I'm here. Dignitas have their mid and their top laner. It's going to be Fake God and Saligo. There you go.
You remember I was calling for Fake God, dude. I'm so hyped.
Oh, good God, bro!
So they have Fake God, Saligo, Dark.
Wait, has he improved? He's improved a little bit since I saw him in the academy. He's improved a little bit. I think he deserves a spot now, but.
So I guess the real question is
who's their AD and support?
Afromu.
Oh,
yep. Afromu's a support still. The AD carry, Dardoch. Fake God. Yeah, Saligo.
Carry.
Is it going to be sneaky?
No, it's not.
No.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks.
Dude, okay, so here's the real question. Is Dignitas going to be a 10th place team or an 11th place team?
They're going to beat CLG. I swear to God, Fake God is underrated.
Like collegiate level. They're like
Fake God is underrated, but I mean, Afromu and
Fake God is better than Fed. Okay, so I agree that Saligo is probably hot garbage, but maybe he can resummon his Shadow Dog's magic and take this team to the promised land. All right.
Yeah, but then you have Afromu.
I think Afromu played well. No? In the summer split? I thought he played pretty well.
I think he played well with Johnson, but the issue here is that he's still going to be on... I don't know. It's hard to say with this team, though. So all they don't have right now is an ADC, right?
Yeah, by the looks of it.
Okay. So Dignitas will have an 80... Oh, the 8 still might be sneaky. Hey, that beats
trash
team.
Wait.
If they sign Sneaky,
let me just. Okay, you know what? I'm pulling up Gamepedia. 1 sec.
Yo, King is available.
Okay, so Fake God top, Dardoch jungle, Saligo, and Afromu. So is Saligo mid or AD carry?
He's mid lane.
He's mid lane, isn't he?
Yeah. Saligo's
mid. Okay. So no, I was right. Yeah. So they don't have an AD carry yet.
I don't know who their AD is going to be.
I hope it's King, sneaky. But. Yeah, I'm fine with sneaky too.
CLG got 10th on lock. Holy no one's chasing that.
That's what I was saying earlier.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay. Hear me out.
If they don't,
if we get OG Broxa and we get season like 0 Wild Turtle back when he, was crazy as shit. Maybe they get 9th.
I think if you're an NA fan, you have to be praying to God that CLG bombs. Because if CLG outperforms these rookie teams, these trash GMs are going to use that as an excuse to be like, hey, washed up talent is the way to go. Let's double down. All right. So as an NA fan, I really hope that they bomb. So we'll see.
Hey, Nightwing, I gotta head out, man. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're fine, dude. I was just
gotta get stuff prepared for Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow.
Thanksgiving with girls? Ew, that's gross. What?
Have fun, man.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Nice chatting with y'all, though. It seems like it's gonna be a really exciting season, honestly.
Yeah. All right. See you later, man. Have a good day.
Take care. Gilgamesh.
What?
I said goodbye, Gilgamesh.
Wait, Gilgamesh is a TSM fan?
Yeah.
Wait, I wished him happy holidays. Damn it.
What's up, Hugo? How you doing, my boy? Haunter, Dark, import mid, Cody, Son, Hako is better. True. I would have liked that roster more. But that's the problem with Dig ran into, this past year, is that they had an academy team that was basically an LCS team, and they didn't have any new players, so they couldn't even bring them up. They just had veterans, and they let all of those players go. So, so I wanted to tackle on something Mr. Red said earlier. So the whole thing with rookies and doing well, the issue here is I think the LCS fans should understand, like, just what the Golden Guardians guy said on Travis's show when I watched it, a couple days ago. It's going to take time for these players to grow. And that's also what you said. Are the fans going to be okay with that?
I think
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. Because that goes into the next topic, which is the old LCS veterans without teams. It's supposed to be old LCS veterans. I messed up on the title. So, yeah, Biofrost, Hunter, Cody Sun, Golden Glue, any of the other players I'm missing for like LCS veterans, Smithy.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this was my take on the whole Reddit about rookies things last split. They wanted low tier teams that couldn't compete or would not be able to compete to make it to Worlds in a realistic way to draft rookies. They wanted teams that were top tier and able to compete at a high level to go out there and get talent. Like that was the philosophy. Like, if you're not actually competing to be the best, stop recycling talent, gamble on someone, and maybe they don't work and it's okay, but gamble on any talent, give them a shot, because what else does Diamond have to do to get a shot at the LCS?
CLG, so that's what I was talking about last week, which was CLG, Dig, and IMT have a place in the league. They can bring in these unknown NA talents, and let's say 2 out of the 5 players are good. That's perfect, because the other bigger teams will just buy them, and then you make money. Keep doing that. Like, these teams have a place in the league, though.
And you hit it right in the head. Look at what happened to TSM. They are trying to get a big name import, and they're having much less success than Team Liquid or C9. Why? Because they haven't built their infrastructure correctly. They don't have 3 PogChamp residents, NA residents, that they can build around. Of course, you're going to want to join a team of Core JJ, Tactical, Jensen. Like, that's like such a great core to join. Same thing with C9, who had an amazing core, and now theoretically they're upgrading in their top lane, right? So that makes you an attractive team to join. We don't want imports like Finn. That's not the point of importing. We want you to develop any talent, find a core roster that works like the old Golden Guardians roster did, find a talent like FBI, and then go all in. Like, that's what I mean. Like, if Golden Guardians fails next split, I don't think that their roster was very well thought out, but I'm not going to be that mad. Like,
CLG did the opposite. It's got a player coming from a bad year.
Exactly. If CLG fails, they should be flamed. This is exactly what we didn't want. With the CLG roster is exactly what the fans didn't want. Other low tier teams that are taking a gamble, like Immortals, I'm fine with it. Even if it doesn't work, even if you go 0-18, you took a gamble, thank you. Go next. That's fine. Like, now you get to learn from it. Even if you find one good gem out of that 5, that's a better success rate for growing NA talent than what we've had for the last 3 years.
I'll take growing 1 or 2 players at a time than growing none of them. I'll take that every single day. Like CLG could bring in literally because people want this. They were like, just sign a bunch of NA players. I still have a disagreement. You can't just throw in players. You can't do that. But if there's resources where you can see good NA Academy players, put them all on a team and see what happens. And if they're talking about saving money, you literally save money. This is their first year. Their stock is worthless. So you save money and you please the fans, but the problem is it's competing. That's the only kind of pity out there.
Okay, so
another but. Dang it! Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. This will be quick. So the main reason that a lot of teams have been picking up old NA talent is mostly because of money. So they come with a name. They come with someone that teams recognize, the fans recognize. Stixxay might not be the top tier tactical or Sven that he might have used to be, but fans at least recognize the name. And so having a big name like that on your team brings in fans, brings in revenue, brings in the potential for other big name players to sign with you next season. And so there is you're right. It's not optimal, but I'm just putting forward the idea that there's a reason that they have been signing these players. It's not just because trash GMs see these players and are like, oh, they must be good. No, there is a real reason for it. Now, the other reason is because, frankly speaking, up until I would say 2 seasons ago, NA ignored the academy teams. Just straight up. They did not develop any talent, and only the top 1%.
Commissioner Greenlee said it became more of like a benching, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was seen as more of like a C9 proved it. They benched a bunch of their players by putting them on the academy team. Like if that doesn't just reek of the mentality that the academy teams used to have, I don't know what does.
I think I'm one of the only losers that actually watched every single C9 Academy game this last split.
I did watch a few. I did watch Academy. I actually did.
It.
But it's like
I'm sorry, but I'm a big Rage fan. Cage the Rage, co-caster for DreamHack 2019. So shout out to my boy.
Yeah, but back to your point. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. So my point is that until 2 seasons ago, the academy teams were seen as more of a punishment for the LCS teams than as like a legitimate place to build talent. Now that they've actually gone past that point and are like, oh shit, academy players can actually be good, we should probably develop this. It's going to take at least another season, I think, before teams are able to move past the idea that, big names might bring in fan base and, people to buy your merch and shit like that. But there are legitimate, really talented players on the academy teams that deserve to have a shot. And, you develop the next Blabber, you develop the next contracts, you develop the next... if you're the team to develop these next things, you can pull the Cloud9 and make millions off of these players. All you have to do is just take the shot. So I think we're poised for that change. It's just, up until recently, we just haven't had the region, the teams haven't had the mentality that to kind of convert on that. So I think you're absolutely right. It's just I'm just more giving background on why that probably hasn't happened yet.
No, I agree. And then also was K4 Polo. He says Tactical only got a shot because Doublelift got sick / unmotivated. Otherwise, he would have been wasted in his talent in academy. No, I agree. Hugo, GG's did the best thing that we could have wanted. Even if they fail, they are attempting to develop really young players straight from college. If they fail, no one gets mad because they're rookies. But if they succeed, she'll be wild. Yeah, I respect teams like GGS for at least taking the gamble. Now, am I going to put them first place in my power rankings for this 2020 season? Hell no. Let's be honest here. They're probably getting 0-18. But, as I said before, if you have 2 of the 5 players that stand out and maybe they're a really good duo, maybe they're just good individual players, that's better than nothing. It's better than recycling golden glue for the 50th, 100,000, so that's not a number, 5,000th time. You know what I mean? almost said 50th, 100th. I was like, I'm going to bed now. I can't count. But, you
Well,
know.
100%. You're 100% right. And so hopefully this will be the changing point. I personally think it'll probably take at least one more season. And a lot of teams will be using this season as a litmus test just to see what happens. If Golden Guardians, I would say if Golden Guardians even wins 3 or 4 games, that's it. If they win 3 or 4 games out of 18, you know what? I would call that a resounding success. And some of their players are probably going to be standout hits that other teams are potentially going to look for. But we just have to start at this kind of depressing point where there's only one team that's going to attempt to do it and go from there.
Yeah.
Sad Sin Story says, I'd rather watch someone like SOAS fail than a no-name succeed, because I don't think there is the next Doublelift in the academy. If you really were that good, someone would have taken a chance on you already.
No.
Let me tell you about Tactical. He literally only got a shot, as K4 Polo said, he only got a shot because Doublelift got sick. Like,
I mean, hell, we could go back in time. Wild Turtle only got a shot because Chaos was unable to play for a game. Like
Kumo, remember Kumo? Licorice got
Kumo!
injured. Yeah, he sucks now, obviously, but, you know, the hindsight was there when, you know, came through. Azazel got a shot when C9 benched their players. I mean...
Exactly. I mean, like, everyone that has come up has been...
Labber got a shot. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with that, because personally, I don't think that SOAS came here at his best form. Like, if we got old SOAS, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. He was one of the best top laners in the world. And in that situation, yes. But I don't want someone who is mid-tier to low-tier in EU coming over, because how does that ever improve NA? If we just keep getting the worst talent that EU has to offer, we're never going to actually compete at international events, right? Like, the idea is that you want to have certain talent develop in the NA region and then go for the top talent from other regions. Like, that's the only way that you actually get better as a competitive league.
Because what IG and FPX prove is you can use imports. You just have to make sure your domestic talent is on point. If your domestic talent is on point, your imports will come in perfectly fine. Now you have an amazing fire team firing off all cylinders. But if you have just good imports and lacking homegrown talent, it's just not going to work out. And I do kind of disagree with people when they say, oh yeah, the LCS has no good NA players. Academy teams have random players you probably wouldn't even know their names if you just go and look at them. So for people to say that there's no one there, I highly disagree with that. I disagree. There are players there. The orgs just don't really look at it nor care. But, you know.
Yeah, I swear to God, some of these roster decisions that are made of players that I just don't understand how they put them together. You know, like, they're actually good players that they put on rosters that are just... You're taking away all of their strengths and highlighting all of their weaknesses when you make certain decisions like this. That's why I personally am not in favor of Golden Guardians roster. I've said this like 3 times already. I'm not going to say it anymore. But, like, if you have the right combination, the right culture, and put these young rookie talents on things that they're comfortable at, which is what C9 has been so good at doing over the years, then you start to see that, hey, there is talent. They just need a chance to be able to develop and grow in an actual competitive scene. Start with where they're strong at, use that strength to build their confidence, and then transition them into being, you know, the Licorices of the world, where he started off as a carry player. Now he can play tanks and weak side at a really, really high level.
Assassin's Story says, I mean, I agree. You shouldn't pull EU players, but players like Larson, Perks, Cap, SOAS were fire from the start. Beerson came out guns blazing. So for me personally, it depends. Like, each player is different.
Can you just drop that Patrick gif again? Because that's my exact opinion about that statement.
I got a better one.
Honestly. Oh.
About...
What the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
That's his story. I'm just showing you, man. But for me personally, good players could come at different points in time. You're right. They did come out guns blazing, but sometimes it just takes the right patch, the right team for a player to be on to really excel. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not that you're wrong. It's just that different players could be seen good at different points in time. You're gonna have players that come out guns blazing, like Cass, personal players you mentioned. You're gonna have players like Zazel, Tactical, all these other players that we saw later on come up through different means. It doesn't mean that they were bad. It just means like they didn't get a chance, nor did people really give them a shot. It just depends.
Right.
You know, each situation is different.
So I'm just going to straight up say it. No, that is wrong. That is 100% wrong.
Well, all right.
No, okay, not you.
Flip these fucking buttons.
That was a good one. Here, let me just take these off, put my sunglasses on. No, okay, so here, aggressive players who get their shot immediately and are able to perform, sure, but they are a dime a dozen. And frankly speaking, only the best of the best of the best of the best of the best, aka Caps, Faker, Larson, etc., are able to capitalize on that level of success. Frankly speaking, anyone who says that the good players or the best players are immediately discovered has no concept of how the players actually were discovered.
But that's not what he was saying.
That is what he's saying. He literally says, where's the comment? Can you just, you know what, I'm just going to...
Oh, no, I thought I said that's not what Nightwing was saying, right? Because he's saying that NA can find talent and they can develop it over time. I thought that's what you were just
players, but players like Larson, Perks, Caps were fired from the very start. No, they weren't.
No. Yeah, I disagree with that.
They weren't. They were only fire, and they were only that good because they had literally... There's, you know, I'm not gonna get
okay. Perks and Caps, yes. Perks and Caps, yes. So as in Larson, I hardcore disagree with.
Let's see. Okay,
Larson
so
developed.
Perks came out guns blazing. I remember when he first came out. Perks was literally stomping.
Well, sure,
people.
but a few good games at the start can be found across so many different players.
Caps,
Wild Turtle's first game,
took a little bit for
he got a pentakill. Would we say that Wild Turtle was literally just good from the start and showed up? No. Faker took at least, 4 or 5 games before people were like, "Oh shit, he's actually really good."
Oh, that
and even then,
man.
and even then, he still had games that made people be like, "You know what? Ryu is still better than Faker." It was never in the first season that Faker was the god. It was always, is Faker as good or better than Ryu? Anyone who thinks that the best players just appear, just no.
Even if they don't come out guns blazing, you can see the talent there. Like, people saw Caps in his first game. He was over here solo killing Perks. You saw the talent in these players. It just depends. Like, it's come to a point where now people aren't even looking. They don't even care for, like, LCS standards, right? Still just LCS. Everywhere else does this. Everyone else literally will throw their entire team away for new players. We've seen China bring up literally new, like, brand new players all the time. It's just for the LCS. Like, somewhere at a certain point, they just stopped caring. And I understand why they had to change Academy, because people just didn't care anymore. You know, they were just signing Academy players, and they were just going, all right, fuck it. Do whatever you want. Here's the keys to my brand new Chevy Camaro. You drive it.
Dude, that whole Academy system where there's 4 games playing at once and you're rotating between forecasters is so depressing. I hate it.
That's actually stupid.
I can't. Yeah, I actually can't watch anymore, but I always watch the YouTube VODs for the games. Like, that I want to watch. But yeah, I hate that they did that.
Hugo, what did you say? The top teams will always be the top because they have their own revenue to spend without any additional funding. The bottom teams should aim to develop talent with one veteran on the team, because chances are you won't have a big shot at the title, but at least you will have a bigger chance of developing a good player for profit. Yeah. Teams like CLG, Golden Guardians, and Dig and IMT, I mean, they're missing out on some gold mines. Guys, I'm not joking.
The only thing I'll disagree with you on, I agree with the entire premise. The only thing I'll disagree on is that the top teams have the revenue and the bottom teams don't. Remember, these are NBA-backed teams. Some of them don't have the money right now, but EG has some of the biggest investors out of any team in the LCS. Like, they have the money to invest. But I think the point is, you don't want to spend the big bucks until you have the framework set, until you have 3 great NA residents, or at least 2 great NA residents to build around. Like, that's the whole point. Like, you develop NA talent so that you can find the pieces you need to build around. And then after that, yeah, spend the big bucks, but don't spend money buying Finn.
Yeah, like
Stop.
just what Jax did. Look, Jack did. Jack, remember, he saved up some money from the players he invested into, and he was able to get perks. Like teams like CLG, IMT, Dig, and Golden Guardians, they could be doing these things too. It's not mutually exclusive just towards Cloud9 and 100 Thieves next, and TSM when they can bring up random new people. Like before now, what was weird about Academy is like you would have. I don't even think TSM needed an Academy mid laner because the point of Academy was to eventually get your shot in the LCS, right? Yep. No mid laner that put on TSM Academy was ever going to overtake Bjergsen. That is just, that just never was going to happen. You know what I mean? But I think now things are a little bit more different. But even so say if you join TSM Academy now as a mid laner, are you going to be out? Are you going to be taking over Power People's spot? That's why I think going to TSM Academy is just a death sentence because you're never going to get a starting spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why C9 for promoting Fudge, I've always been a fan of. Like, I have so much confidence that he's actually better than Licorice. They have a track record of success.
Mm-hmm.
No, not even that. Like, Fudge is a mechanically insane player. I'm just so excited to see that. Harkening back to, like, the entire bit with Academy players and all of that stuff. TSM has a problem. And their problem is they are unwilling. They find their mid that they're comfortable with, and then they just like build entire teams around it. I call it the SKT syndrome.
I call it the cowboy syndrome.
Cowboy syndrome. Yeah, that's both.
You see my eagle tat back there? Oh, we're just a depressing division.
And frankly speaking, I feel bad for the Academy mid laners of TSM because they're never really going to get the shot at LCS, which is mainly why Academy needs to change and everything. In terms of lower teams, bracket teams, we've been saying it this entire time. Yeah, use your time to groom players because this perks trade from C9, if anyone thinks this is just like an off the cuff, like, oh man, the perks just became available, let's get them up. No, this big ass trade has been like 3 seasons in the making. When they started grooming rookie talent and selling those players at substantially more and basically bankrolling their entire team up to this point, this has been seasons in the making, waiting for basically the perks or the caps or whoever decided to make the jump to become available. And smaller teams can do that. They can bankroll and they can build up players, and then they can sell those players, and they can continually do this over and over and over again until finally they're able to put together the competitive roster that catapults them from, like a 5th, 6th place team, wherever the fuck they end up, all the way up into top 3. It's not rocket science. They can look at any number of competitive sport and see the exact same thing being done by any number of teams. And I don't understand why it's taken until this point for people to realize it.
Yep, I agree.
All right, sorry about that. Just securing my ride for the morning. What was that? What's up, Hugo? Because if you're saying Fudge is too early to say he may be better than Licorice, Fudge has been dumpstering an Academy because, I mean, come on, who is his competition? Fake God? See, that's true though. But to be fair, people did say that about Licorice too. People said, oh, when they had question marks about Impact leaving too, they're like, oh, is Licorice going to be able to match up to what Impact brought? Like, I think now Cloud9 has proven they know what they're doing when they're bringing up someone new that we don't expect. I think they've earned that. Unless they start just bringing up random trash players.
I wouldn't even say that.
No,
I wouldn't even say that because he was on Mammoth. Like people just, he is not some like random pub
he won a lot. He's
laner.
won everything he's ever played in. Like he's literally won in OCE, he's won in Academy over and over again. He literally has not lost. This guy hasn't lost. But I will say, Hugo, there's a game that you should watch. It's C9 Academy versus Immortals when they switch their rosters. So I'm just playing against Soaz. Soaz has Kennen into his Sylas. Kennen is supposed to counter Sylas early. And Immortals is completely playing around Soaz. Like ganks after ganks after ganks. watch that game and tell me that you aren't excited to see Fudge play in LCS. Like I'm telling you, this you can't have any more hype for a player coming in than Fudge has. Like he has done everything in his that he can possibly do that's in front of him, and he's just aced every single test that's been present to him. Like, yeah, I have
it's ridiculous. Yeah, like if anyone's looking at the transition from Licorice to Fudge and being like, oh man, like what are they doing? You don't drop a player like Licorice for just some random pub stumpy top laner. Like just anyone who's questioning Fudge, go look at that game, go check any of his VODs, go just look at his player history. And it's insane. They're not dropping Licorice because they're taking a chance on Fudge. If anything, it would be the other way around. They brought in Fudge because they were always planning on swapping Licorice for him as soon as they got an import slot open. Like that. And now that they have, this is just like holy crap levels of like, if C9 doesn't make it to Worlds this year, it is even worse than last season. It is substantially worse than last season. It is the most colossal fuck up in the history of the LCS levels of bad. So, yeah.
And I won't say that he's better than Licorice. It's impossible to make that claim yet. But I'm saying that he deserves a shot. He has insane potential. That's the link, by the way, Hugo, for that game. It's not about him styling on Soaz. It's about him absorbing insane amounts of pressure. And he's playing a counter matchup. He's absorbing insane amounts of pressure. He's staying up in CS for majority of the game, even though he's getting ganked this many times. And on top of that, realize he's a carry player. Like, that's his preferred play style. He is a carry player, and he's able to hold his own in a matchup against a very good top laner, in my opinion. So yeah.
So I'm just looking at chat as well. I understand. Yeah, Ryoma is okay. I'm gonna make a case for Ryoma. Ryoma is a perfect example of when teams squander talent. I think Ryoma with the right team could have been absolutely amazing, but unfortunately, we will never get to see that because isn't he like a free agent now and never going to see another day ever again?
Hey, you can at me if I'm ever proven wrong about this. I don't see any redemption story for Ryoma. I'll be honest. I've never really understood why.
We're past
what
that.
Is this? What is the thing? Like, what is the ideal style or meta where he shines? Well,
it's not even. He had the correct meta. Let me just look back in his player history because it's been a while since
he played with contracts. He played with media. So you can't say it was the jungler, right? Like,
well, contracts was. Wait, you're saying contracts and Medios? Okay,
so they had completely. No. I'm saying they were completely opposite playstyles. One in which he was a power farm jungler, and you played for mid priority to the jungle, and the other one who was a carry jungler who mid needed to enable. Both of the styles, Ryoma looked really bad. So I don't know which style works. Like, I don't know what situation you put him in where he is.
Where, that's a good point. I don't have an answer for that because I've never really thought too heavily about Ryoma as a player. What I will say is when Ryoma was first coming in, I believe that was 100 Thieves. Yeah. What I will say is Ryoma coming into 100 Thieves, Ryoma looked damn good. And Contracts and Medios are not exactly what I would call top tier junglers. And 100 Thieves, I mean, they started to make a turnaround. I think that Ryoma
Contracts looked decent, like towards
he looked better playoffs near the end. Yeah. I would say if Ryoma was just as a spitball, I would say if they were able to play something more similar to what Fnatic and C9 are probably going to be playing this season, more of a mid-jungle style, but with an actual jungler who's able to capitalize on those, rather than just literally getting a small lead and then sitting on their ass for 40 minutes. sorry, no shade thrown at contracts or medios. They were great at the time, but it was frustrating to watch.
I think if you gave him his best season on his best team in NA,
he might not be top.
That's what I'm saying, though.
He's at least top 3.
You think he's top 3 in NA?
I think at his
he's
peak,
at worst middle of the pack. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think in terms of just his potential, if he had the best season that he possibly could, I would put him as a top 3.
You would put him above PoE?
No, man. I think at his peak, from what I could see, 4th to 5th.
Like in terms of his mechanics are insane. But again, we're talking just potential. Okay, we'll scale it back. I'll say he's top 4, just to make sure that he's not that nobody's going to be like, oh my god, Power of Evil, Jensen and Perks. Like, okay, you know what? Currently, I will agree with you, but I would say at least from a standpoint of his max potential, I would put him as a top 4 in perfect conditions.
I would say that's more fair. Yeah.
It's impossible to know, though, because you're right. We'll never see the Ryoma redemption, and he's never going to hit his prime. So I guess it'll always be a question of what
could have been. Yeah. I mean, technically now he's a resident, so I'm less opposed to him getting a second shot than I was before, because I think that was completely egregious. He was an import. And he performed like that.
This is my thing, because we saw Ryoma at the 2019 MSI. I thought he was decent, but I was like, why are they importing this guy? He was decent, and I think his max peak, I think, is like who he was like 4th, 5th place material. But if 100 Thieves are always talking about championship level aspirations, get a guy like Ryoma. That's not saying he's a bad player, who he kind of was. He fits on a team like CLG, IMT, Dignitas. Like, if we're talking competitive boards that want to win,
What I'll say is go back, if you ever can, and watch some of his games when he was on Bombers.
That's what I was about to look at the wiki for. It wasn't that the team that, like, I feel like the credit went to the wrong person. Was that the team with Raze?
FBI was on Bombers too.
Okay, FBI, exactly. So, like, now looking back, wouldn't you say that maybe he got too much credit? With FBI and Rogue on that team?
Again, we're talking. I will never predict. Yes, I've watched a shit ton of League, but we are talking about a player that I didn't. I only was paying attention to back in like I don't know 2000 and when did he come over to the LCS 2000? I guess it was only last year, wasn't it? But anyways, still, it's. I will never say that I understand him implicitly, but when 100 Thieves brought him over as an import slot, I did spend some time looking him out, and on Bombers, he really did look good. Maybe if I go back now, I would give more credit to FBI, but at the time, he looked really damn good. So I'll at least give him that. Yeah, I'll always give him at least that credit. But again,
I think a lot of people rag on him because no, it's fine. We're toward the end. All the topics are done. We're fine. It's just more like, he was an import, and then you had the whole Ica situation, which made it even look worse. I think he had some good games on Orianna and Zoe. There was one against Bjergsen in spring 2020 where he was doing pretty good. But I think the issue here is, like, people kind of rag on him for being an import, and he just really wasn't that good most of the year, though. He was, like, 8th place, 9th place some weeks. It was weird, man. It was crazy. You also had, like, Ica crown over your shit in the bed 24/7. Yep. This man could over get a solo kill on Azir by flash autoing. This man just sit there and watch his enemy just walk away. I was like, all right, dude, unplug that keyboard and get off the stage. You're done. You're done, man. Get off. Like, I can't stand that shit, man. When people just phone it in when you could be winning some games. I don't know. Like we had this game of solo queue last night. No, it was a few days ago. I was literally hard carrying. I was like, stop giving up. The game's not over. It's winnable. No, man. The over support was saying, yeah, I'm carrying 0, 6, and 0. Man just fucking built like Trinity Force on luck. I'm carrying. The guy I was duoing with, he was getting mad at the Morg. Morg's not a mid laner. Morg is a support. I was told this by YouTube.
When an LCS mid laner gets compared to Nightwing solo queue, you know his strat. Okay, let's go next.
Okay, so on CLG, I will be having someone from CLG come on at the end of December at some point. Yeah. So I want to ask this person, what was the... I gotta be nice. Why... Hey, What was the point of picking up Finn and just like leave the call and just come straight back? I think for CLG, all jokes aside, their highest, I'm talking max peak this roster could hit 6th. If I'm being completely honest here, 6th, maybe 7th, maybe they get the last spot in playoffs.
If they get 6th, NA is doomed. That's all I gotta say. Our rookies have to be better. Like,
yeah.
I would agree that they could
Because we're factoring in this, Golden Guardians 10th, maybe IMT's 10th. Who was the team? Yeah, just
no. I think Golden Guardians.
It is literally just a question of how strong Brox's and Finn's backs are. Because
Pobelter's there too. I don't think Finn's gonna do that well personally, but I think that Pobelter has to solo carry the team. That's my opinion.
If Broxa shows as he was supposed to when he was on Team Liquid, then I have a sinking suspicion they might actually get up there. But again, it's all hypothetical because CLG is like the perfect example of like, if every player was at their peak, I would actually confidently put them as a middle of the pack, potentially high middle of the pack team. But if their players are trash, I put them at 11th.
So I think I heard Nightwing's rankings. What are your rankings overall? Track? Like, what would you put?
We're doing that next a few weeks. So if I'm having to put CLG
I can't
in
say
rankings
fully.
Yeah, I can't say twice. Diggs ADC. Yeah, Evo Genius situation too. But for CLG, I'll probably have them between the 7th to 10th range, if I'm being honest here.
Yeah, because I like the only two teams I can think would perform worse are IMT and Golden Guardians. I can't think of another team.
Maybe Dig?
No, I think that they're going to be way better.
My
stock on Fake God is really high.
Yeah, so you have Dig and CLG competing for 7th. What a league we have here, boys. This league is trash, man. My God. I think the veteran experience will get CLG wins early on, but I think when other teams start catching up, they'll just get outpaced. That's why I might have them between that 8th and 10th range. It happened with FlyQuest in 2017. Remember, 2017 spring. Remember people said FlyQuest are so good. I was like, no, they're not. Other teams are literally just so shit. They're losing to these bad players like balls in season 7, please. And then when the other teams got better, FlyQuest looked really bad. So I think that'll happen with CLG. I think they'll start strong, overperform to expectations, and then other teams who are better just overtake them later on. That's just me personally.
Is next season 100%. The season where they're combining spring and summer? Or So there's one giant split then.
Yeah, EU, LPL, LCK, and LEC will still have spring splits. Yeah.
If that's the case, then I would predict 9th for CLG because I think that I don't actually think that they're going to get better. I think they're going to get much worse very fast. I think they're like, if Finn magically becomes a much better player than he was in EU, then they have a shot. Then they have a real shot because then they have 2 solo laners that are highly competent. But unless that happens, I don't get it. Like, there's not a single laner to laner comparison I can make for someone on even Immortals that it's like, it's so touch and go. I would have to predict 9th. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it'll depend on who Golden Guardians who still has their is it EG who still has their no, Dignitas. That's Jesus Christ.
ADC.
All right, I'm getting a bit tired here. For me, it's going to come down to if Dignitas fills out with Sneaky, Dignitas is worse, just 100%.
Boy, them Sneaky fans, when they watch this VOD later, are gonna fucking flip.
I'm sorry, but I've watched his solo queue recently, and it's
degraded. My boy Sneaky is degraded. Cloud9 made the right decision moving on from him when they did. Like, his time was up, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, of course. Golden Guardians is taking a risk, and that risk comes with the potential for reward, but also complete shit. Immortals, touch and go. We'll see. Xerxes is pretty good, and like there's a small potential for them to
do well.
To do well. So I'll give them that.
Yeah.
The only teams that I confidently put ahead of CLG, like just 100%, without any questions, 100 Thieves, FlyQuest, Cloud9, Team Liquid, and maybe TSM, if they're able to fill out their roster properly. But I'm
Not
giving
EG.
TSM EG.
I think this too. I think this closer is much better than Blabber, but
yeah. EG's touch and go for me right now. I really just want to see the first few games because Svenskeren and Jizuke are just big questions marks for me. Like, are we going to get Svenskeren from Cloud9 or are we going to get Svenskeren from TSM? Are we going to get like they're taking a risk?
Are you going to get impact from NRG or are you going to get Team Liquid impacts? Yes,
exactly.
EG have good pieces. I could see a world where they creep into that. I think we have two dark horse teams. If EG get a decent roster after Doublelift screwed everybody from retiring, jeez, man. I hope EG do well because I really hope they do well because they got screwed out of Doublelift retiring and Sword Art not coming. You know, from the verbal commitment.
In what world would Impact, Sven, and Jizuke lose against Pobelter, Broxa, and Finn?
Yeah,
You know what? Honestly, I'm just gonna say this. When Broxa came over here, everyone called Svenskeren the downgraded Broxa. Like a lot of people have compared Svenskeren and Broxa in terms of play styles, and so EG and CLG
really
are.
Well. I thought Svenskeren played really well, especially.
I will give them full credit, and that's why I'm giving EG the respect that I think that they deserve. It's just. For me, it just comes down to a question of can CLG keep pace? Because I 100% agree with Nightwing, actually. I think that they will actually gel fairly well together because it's a team of basically 0 rookies. Like, if people consider Moon a rookie, I don't... Anyways,
But it seems like you rated Broxa pretty high. It seems like you think
I at least give him the respect of the. I at least give him the respect.
You think he was misused on CL though? You think he can overperform on CLG?
It's possible.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Broxa.
What do you think? So what do you think? Historically, when he was really good on Fnatic, it seemed like they had a very clear pathing every single time that he followed. Like it was like a highly meticulous plan, and the laners played around Broxa. In that worlds that they were doing well in.
And that's exactly why I'm at least giving it the credit because we were dealing with Pobelter and Wild Turtle.
Right, and but he had Caps and Whippo as his laners who were getting
obviously it's a bit different because they had way better players, but I'm just saying the potential pieces are there, maybe not to the same extent that it was with Fnatic, but I'll at least say that I don't see CLG going quietly. I think that the other teams will at least have to really push them down simply because of the amount of experience that is there. I think if we don't, I think not giving them the respect for at least having the experience is going to hurt a lot of teams early on in the season. It'll just be, can they keep that up later on? Because since it is a team of 0 rookies, I don't think they'll be able to keep the aggressive pace that some of these younger and rookie teams will be able to exert on them. So for me, CLG is honestly one of the teams I will agree with you. I want them to fail, but I can't in good consciousness, just based on what I know, immediately write them off as just like they're gonna be shit. Like I can't do that. I at least have to look at the historical prevalence of the players and give them at least a little respect there.
That you're a better man than I am. So good for you. I think that like this time around, if I'm wrong on my takes, I'll own up to him 100%. I think that Niski's going to be really good on Fnatic, and I think that Broxa is not a good jungler. I don't know, like he's not good at enabling his lanes. And in a team with not very great laners, I don't know how he can even compete against some of these other junglers. But hey,
you know what?
If I'm
That's
wrong,
fair.
I will come on here and I'll say I was wrong. So we'll see.
And to be fair, I want them to fail. I just like there's two sides of me. There's the vindictive, like I agree with you. Let them fail. Let them be the bottom of the bunch so that academy teams can come through. But there's also that part of me that's like, oh,
you are veterans.
Entirely shit. God damn it. Why couldn't they have taken Ryoma? I mean, what?
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so we're kind of winding down here. I thought we had a really good stream. We had really great discussion points. There was one thing I want to say before we head out. So the reason why, because we're gonna ask me why did that person get banned when you see the live chat? I do not tolerate disrespect. You're just randomly disrespecting, and I ban people because of that. If you disrespect, you don't get your takes heard. I've heard some really shitty takes on this podcast. Holy crap! Not funny, anybody's gonna listen to this, but some of those takes are atrocious. But at least the people there were respectful, and you can battle someone's point. If someone says something stupid, yeah, I respect that you go in there and you battle that person's point. You know what I mean? Like, some people say, man, who was it? He said that Caps wasn't that good internationally. I was just sitting here like, someone take it, because I'll actually just rage out and blow my head off.
Wait, did someone actually try and say Caps was not?
It was in a recent podcast episode before the ones me and my friends did. Me and my friend did. It was like, oh my god, someone. It's like, because if I don't, because like I feel like I have to, because what people do is like, let's say that's this retarded take. Like Bangy was really good in season 6 when people clued to watch LCK and he was fucking benched all the year. I was like, he was so good. I was like, someone take this point, because if I do, I'm gonna rage out this person. I'm not really gonna rage out, honestly. But if someone says something you don't agree with, challenge it. Literally, challenge it. There's no rule saying you can't, but you can't be arguing with someone and not bringing facts. Stats, I don't really care if you're bringing stats. That really doesn't mean anything, honestly, to me.
Strats over stats.
Like Satsin and Hugo, we're all here just giving their opinions. K4 Polo, everyone who gave their opinions came in respectably.
I didn't even see who it was. I don't know what happened, but
if anybody ever wants to come in when I'm not here with my friend, because my friend likes it when it's just me and him, I'll throw in the link for people to join if you want to challenge our takes. We're more than welcome to do it, but I just don't tolerate disrespect, and that's why he got banned. And I'm building a great show here, personally, I think, and we're gonna have fans.
Sick, man.
We're gonna have fans come in here and debate and stuff. But hey, if you're not respectful, then I'm not gonna tolerate you here. This is not Reddit. Like, I've never want to be Reddit. Reddit is literally cancer when I read it. Someone said literally mid lane rankings of all time: Faker, Beerson, Rookie. I was like, all right, logging off Reddit. I read too much of this shit today. I'm leaving. All right, I'm leaving. It's done. Faker, Beers.
I think Hugo actually says probably the most accurate thing. GGS will not win the LCS, but they will win our hearts.
Yeah, man. I had to ban that. I was like, this is stupid. You're not even contributing to the conversation. You're bronze, dude. I peaked at challenger. That's all you guys need to know. That's all you need to know. Yeah. But when someone tries to battle, Beerson versus Jensen, come here. If you don't like the way I'm talking about Beerson, come here and say it to my face. It's more easier to say it through a phone. I get it. And when I raise you, MSI 2019, does Beerson have anything better internationally? IEM 2015. All right, you lost. Get out. Please leave. What? MSI IEM 2015. Fucking Kuro over here running it down in mid lane. But, just want to make sure I point it out there. But I'm out. We're done. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Trackhawk. Thank you, Red. Thank you to Gigalamess for being here. Yeah. See you guys later. Next episode should be our power rankings, because by next week we should have all the rosters figured out for the LCS. We should. There's only literally one spot left on one team, which is Diggs ADC. They might get sneaky, and then they would be 8th. Peace out, guys. Have a good night. Nightwing is signing out. Peace out. Goodbye. Gonna go watch some videos that are not